Tesman WeChat, and I would not at all be surprised if we do see them with that composition go for the Realm of Yang, as we're going to see to no surprises. Both of these teams scrambling for the Firefly pickup. XEM coming on through with that F3 attachment, has got his hands on the dual blades halberds, but X1's XLY has got his hands on something far more valuable, which is Fireflies. You don't need a weapon if you're Zai, you just need your ultimate online. Tesla Enchantment is going to slow things down. XLY getting grabbed up into the charged RMB of that staff, going incredibly low. The Karumi got focused down, so no F3 tether to let the Zai tank the damage. And FPX coming in with a timing attack, third party, dropping a Viper in a Tessa ultimate of their own, will be able to catch onto both the Xiphon team and Wolves as well. As we can see ZK heading off into the distance, he's going to try and live as long as he possibly can, as FPX denied one, turn their attention onto the last remaining player from X1.
Oof, tough break for X1 going down to FPX. FPX starting out the day in top 5. You got to win that first one to get it going. But Wolves and Alliance both winning their off spawn as well. Now going down to Shipwreck, we have JL versus Alliance. Can Alliance keep up their momentum, show everyone that they do belong in that top 5? Alliance having a really, really great third weekly, dropping down. He is going to get parried by TXJ, waiting on the low ground. After he's going to be coming out. Tessa all is going to be in Ventus now. NY7 backing off. His Viper has been so impactful lately. VVV able to get out of here due to the cube of TXJ. Moonbane is going to be coming down, isolating. They're able to isolate the ult out, get out of dodge. Now TXJ is going to be stunned, stuck in the Moonbane. His teammate is going to, Fong is coming over to peel for him, but it's going to be a little bit too late. And Y7 is going to be able to pick up the kill. Alliance Revenge looking to secure the kill onto Fong. This Moonbane just doing so much work off spawn. JL though fighting back. VVV on the Kylan doing a ton of damage, taking down Yuma. Now Revenge has to be looking for a
third party though.
Bauda coming in with you on the Viper. My man from Wuchen to Viper now on the F3 is going to be taking a nice piece out of JL.
It's the dinner bell, Raven. The gong was rung. That Moonbane is visible for all to see. Bauda spotted it out like the bat signal in the sky, and came running to see what exactly was going down over Shipwreck, and they find themselves that third-party assassination play that this composition is so known for. Tessa Enchantment will catch on to Revenge. He's going to try and buy spacing with the charged RMB on this Halberds coming through, but Yu is going to return the favor, and we're going to see both of these teams now trying to sustain. Bauda do not have the greatest of sustain in comparison to the composition that we are seeing coming through from Alliance, as it is going to be you with the charged LMB on the Halberds managing to find the catch. However, Alliance have been able to port out with the Wuchen. Unfortunately for them, the nerfs in the distance mean that there is absolutely no way Revenge has enough time to actually pick up one of his players, and they have to burn 2 of their revives as ASE and Kayle now going head to head. Yangdong with this Kylan ultimate going to be topped up by his zip sustainability, catching on to Kayle, the F1 invested from the Tian High. Now we're going to see the transformation into that Vajra State with Godly looks to try and find some of these grabs. ASE though going to be kiting it out, the traditional counterplay to the Transformers composition. See the monk go up and just run away. It's going to be a little bit harder to disengage given the fact that they don't have a Wuchen teleport to just instantly bounce, but ASE keeping themselves in these rooms, making sure that they cannot possibly get grabbed. Cavalry Bloom from Jiangdong already incredibly early on is going to catch Kayle by surprise, and we're going to see CXE get taken down as OUG showing up into the area for a potential third party.
ASC, OUG, far right side of the map. So much action going down. Now, it looks like OUG is recovering from their respawn. Now they're going to have to try to live versus ASC. Xinyu on the Kylan. Jang Dong already executing on the Kylan ultimate. 2 slashes left, looking for the pressure onto the last Kylan, but the cube is going to be peeling them out. Now ASC surrounding OUG Xinyu, not letting him out of here. Nice grapple combo, and the follow-up from the Kylan of ASC. They are going to take down Shinyu, going up to 6 kills off spawn. That's how you want to start the day in the top 3. Get that momentum going, especially when we have all these Viper compositions. If these teams are not able to slow down these hottie compositions, the Viper power spark is going to start dwindling as we move on to the later stages of this game.
I'm telling you, keep your eye on ASC. They're definitely a dark horse in this competition, as Wolves now going to be going head-to-head with JLXEM coming on through with that Viper ultimate. Going to be trying to catch on to one of these players and find the isolation. However, VVV is going to be able to break. LOS comes in with that current ultimate still active to try and chase down the low-health Viper, who's having to burn every single bit of stamina. Does manage to draw the attention away long enough for ZK on the Wuchen to start the teleport, but again, it's so little distance, and the Kylan ultimate is still in play for that chase down, and Wolves are absolutely ripped apart. VVV with the dashes is going to get his zip sustainability coming on through, gets a nice jump parry onto XEM as well to clean things up, and that is going to be Wolves losing the fight to the Kylan Hardy and Zip composition, even though the Viper test from Wuchen has started outplaying that composition later on.
I don't know if I agree with the pick of choosing this Viper composition in that phase 1. You just can choose some of the stronger, slower ways, but we'll have to see whether or not these Vipers can get this going. We're going to see Bauda Yu executing on the V1 onto FPX. The Moonbane charm is going to be placed down. Nice poured out from Bauda's Euron on the Wuchen. FPX does spot them out. The new Wuchen port does give a giant light. It's very easy to track and follow. FPX's Junks did use the V1 earlier. We're going to get a straight neutral fight. F3's going to be invested, but he's surrounded by Bauda, and he's going to get taken down immediately. Now Bauda with the 3v2 advantage is going to make quick work of Shinyu. FPX is going to fall. 1v3 situation. Can FPX bring it back? The F3 limiting Senzi's options here. He's going to slap his way out of here. Try to get a little bit of peace in, but Bauda's you will put him down.
Oh, so it's really unfortunate, right, that every single team on the Viper test and Wuchen composition is looking for a fight that's already started so they can come in for these third-party assassinations. We've seen the most success from this composition when they find teams that are already fighting and can third-party. But like you said, because so many of these teams picked it in both phase 1 and phase 2, they're cannibalizing each other's chances. When they run into fights, it's between a Viper test and Wuchen composition, and it just means that nothing really actually happens off of the back of some of these kills, because you either have a Wuchen teleport, just disengage everybody, or it becomes this back and forth of one Viper ult, and then the other Viper ults, and then Tessa uses their ultimate, and then they get third-partied by another team coming on through. And it's just a little bit harder for these compositions against some of these teams that have the ability of just burning you down incredibly rapidly, like with the Kylan ultimate, like with the Sand Siphon compositions, as we're going to see ASE versus OUG. Jiangdong with Kylan is going to be the player that we're following along with. We know he has Cavalry Bloom in the back pocket. Do OUG now they're going to know, because that was the frame 1 startup of the Cavalry Bloom. He's going to have to burn the combo breaker to get away from that pole sword, as it is going to be both of the Kylans going head-to-head. However, the Zip from OUG is going to chime in and turn it into a 1 versus 2. The Cavalry Bloom catching onto OUG's Kylan, and Jinyu is absolutely evaporated within 5 seconds. Jiangdong now fully unleashed, is free to come through with that V2 and mow down every single player. That is both of the players from OUG utilizing the cube at the exact same time to break away from the low ground from the kill and dash follow-up, but that means that they don't have the combo break available for a reset, Raven, and ASC are just in a matter of cleanup.
Yeah, really, really aggressive out of Jiangdong, dropping down with the Cavalry Bloom. Just he will not be denied. He did have his gold F up, but really, really good drop down positioning coming out now. Just a formality, cleaning up the last player of OUG. Before going into this Yang, I was surprised at just how cordial these two trios teams were, just sitting around, being like, you know what? You can go to Yang, we're going to Yang. There's no point in us fighting here, griefing each other's game. Easily, one of them could have betrayed and possibly take down. Now, this season has been a season of no formalities when it's outside of Yang. I was very surprised that those two teams just let each other in. Looks like JL's VVV is going to be getting cleaned up by Bauda's U. Now, VVV is going to pop his ult. He's going for the hero play right now. This is the last stand of JL. There will be no reses right now. It looks like VVV is going to fake going back out, comes back in, hits U twice. Nice heal coming out of the Wuchen, denying this execute, denying this last kill, but VVV is going to get it. He gets the Soul Bloom. Wait a second. Your round's going for a ride right now. 1, 2, 3, looking for the wake up, gets a jumping LB, gets another jumping LB. Euron now down to his last hit. He has to run away here. Nice R&B is going to be coming out. Looks for the wake up coverage. Not going to be able to get it now. VVV going to send out a cannon shot. It's not going to be able to land it. Oh my goodness. Just when you thought VVV was just going to get cleaned up, he turns it around and puts OUG on their butts.
Okay, well, now we're following along with ASE Jiangdong, this Kylan, with that Vermilion Birds Might getting to take a fight against the Sand Siphon composition. The Temi ultimate making it a little bit harder for the Kylan to find the dashes, but they are still managing to make the damage stick. A lot of these Fury shoves have already been expended. This fight is being over incredibly quickly as well. So on the minimap, no one really in the vicinity to find that third-party opportunity. Kurumi Tava is going to be broken, so the Takeda will have that 90% damage reduction for the next 4 seconds, but they are able to find the kills the second that 90% damage reduction has been removed. Something to note as well, not only did VVV manage to see off the attackers, he also had 2 rebirth charms that he was able to grab from the box immediately and get both of his teammates up and into the mix. Unfortunately, it looks like JL ran into OUG, who are currently afflicted by Yang depletion, are gonna all in on this team that are down so many of these resources because they don't get to revive with all of that loot still intact. Jinyu on this Kylan, just full sending it, making sure that VVV is just having to back on off, providing spacing for SS on this Hardy, having set up that cube to back on off and get a little bit of a reset, as we've still got the dashes. Jinyu still has the health. He's been topped up by his zip. Now he's out of the ultimate onto that blue staff, but OUG haven't been able to find the isolations that they were looking for. They got caught trying to find the players of JL, and Wolves came in for that third-party opportunity with this composition that loves to catch on to these players when the fighting has already happened, because you don't have that concentration to be expecting the Tesla ultimate. And it seems like OUG Jinyu is just in charge of kiting this team as long as possible up over into Junction to live and let his 2 other teammates potentially survive. But JL, having survived that first hit from OUG's ultimates, have ultimates of their own to come on through. VVV with these fist blades able to come through and find these last players on OUG's end. And OUG, unfortunately, a team that got their attention and aggression forced because of Yang depletion, are going to be knocked out with 0 kills to their name.
Yeah. JL's VVV, he's able to clutch that 2v1 and res both of his teammates really, really quickly right there. OUG unfortunately going to get picked off. And Wolves coming in hot with that nice third party, picking those free kills off. Now we're going to get Alliance and Y7 with the V1. He's going to go for the res instead while his teammates covers Sleepwalker, trying to come in, trying to interrupt this res. Doesn't want him to get revenge up, but he will fall. Alliance able to pick up some clean kills onto WBG. Now going into zone, we haven't seen GG at all, but they're always really quiet in this early game. They're the calm before the storm as they start snowballing out of control. And you see already GG just super, super stacked already. 3 purple armors, purple weapon on both their Hottie and Kylan. This is what these guys are known for. Slow and steady wins the race. They are the tortoise of NBPL. They don't play super, super fast, but overall, they always show up really, really big when it matters in that end game. And now in this modern Naraka, this 2024, no more placement points. Playing for first is now a work of art. All of these teams struggle now to have that consistency to get that 1.2 multiplier, but we're seeing now new teams, ASC, pushing this new meta where kills are the most important. Having 12 already so early within this game is absolutely insane. Normally, we're used to seeing that 6 or 9 kills and then every team slows down. But ASC challenging that old meta, pushing it to have more kills going into this second Realm of Yang.
Oh, this is a stacked Realm of Yang too. DRG with a legendary weapon. GG also with a legendary weapon as Tuna is going to be shared around for the players to get every advantage they possibly can. CGS gets grappled onto before he can try and find the drop down charge. RMB has to utilize the combo break. He gets the zip sustainability as well. Pulls the ultimate out, knowing that he's coming under pressure, but so much of GG's hands has already been forced as DRG are going to come through with the Tumult ultimate. GG unfortunately not able to force it out from the Temi before that Kain can go for the ultimate because CJS was under so much pressure early on. And speaking about pressure, Keelan Guard has to be called in just to keep him up. The combo breaker coming through with the Hardy Cube as well allows CJS to reposition away from the back-to-back re-wisps that he was just being barraged under. Now the Furin shoves the zip, absolutely everything that DRG has. The blistering edge, the charged R&B on the halberds off of the stagger setup. Every single bit of damage, every single focus is coming onto this Kylan. Combo breaker from the cube, from the Hardy ultimate reset will come through. CGS now with that rampage able to find a hit, but he is so incredibly low. He just has to hold on for his zip to get that F back online. He gets it now. He can look for the parries. He can look for the skill rush. He's going to flash the red while the rest of his players take down DRG because CJS needs to give LXM and 330 a bouquet of flowers for keeping him alive through all of that pressure. DRG burned everything they could on getting the Kylan, and GG denying it allowed them to just out-sustain the other team.
Really, really slick play coming out from CGS. He's down to a sliver of health, and he chooses to use that rampage. Instead of just full running away, he fights back, sending that super fast rampage. Rampage changes Hongsword to the point where you cannot react to that focus attack. And when you see that LB charging up as he's falling down, there's not really an animation to tell that it's rampage until you get hit by it for the first time. He reveals his ace card under his sleeve, keeping him alive at that 1 HP situation. Really, really good job by GG's teammates to take advantage of their Kylan being hunted down so aggressively. And this is what really separates GG from other teams. In the clutch, in these very tight moments, they find ways to play super well off of each other, find these clutch wins. And not only are they really good at endgame, but GG has always been one of those premier teams inside Yang. They have one of the highest Yang entrance rates of any team in NBPL for the past 3 years. And I don't see it slowing down at all. So we are going to get GG going against ASC. Can ASC take this endgame? We have 4 Vipers alive going into this endgame, and we haven't seen them around. We got KLA on that Zyvaria Monk. I'm curious what they can pull off. Previously, in all the other bi-weeklies, they've actually had way more success than they've had failures with this composition, and they always run it on this Morris.
Yeah, KLA, though, the way that they have to play it is all in on endgame. Because they need to get the Spirit World. They need to get the double ultimate so that they can have 2 Farrier mechs online at the same time. Otherwise, one Farrier mech just gets focused down by the entire lobby, as we're going to see teams with Yang Depletion head to the middle of the map of Celestra. Easier to find players, also easier to break the ankles if you start going low, as DRG are going to burn absolutely everything to guarantee that they can get this counter wolves as quickly as they possibly can. Tessa will be able to grab up 2 players from DRG. They can get on top of the urn to cancel it out, but unfortunately that means that the Wuchen teleport is successful, and DRG now have to spend precious time of that countdown tracking down where wolves have scampered on off to. And that means that the fight's gone on much longer than DRG want to. Thankfully, they only burned that Takeda ultimate. They kept in the back pocket the Temi and the Kurumis, because they understand that with the game being this late on, with the space being taken away as the zone moves, the potential of getting third-partied exponentially climbs up, and we are going to see so many teams in this area looking to manage to take advantage and punish these teams that are forced into taking these fights. DRG find another Wu Chen team that have another Wu Chen teleport. This time it's FPX who are actually going to teleport backwards into the zone out of that Tumult ultimate. Kakaishi does still have the V2. Dongqing setting up the scale rush, is going to get caught into by that. Tessa gets hit into the stone from on the pole sword. Can't interact with the urn, can't stop himself from getting followed up by the Viper V1 and goes down. DRG falling apart. Bowder though coming in for the potential third party also on the Viper Tessa and Wu Chen composition. It is going to be a saving grace. DRG are handed an escape ticket given the fact that FPX are having to scramble away from the invaders, but Sansi with their cavalry bloom is going to put the pressure onto the Kurumi. Jun as a result is going to go down, wasn't able to play for the spacing of keeping up his support, and now DRG trying to take on to FPX will be able to find the kill onto both Sansi and Xiaohu, so that is going to be 2 soul blooms picked up. Unfortunately for them, Dongqing did go down. Fortunately, this team, Raven, are sitting on an absolute gold mine when it comes to the money that they're going to have to burn because the Kurumi's going to die to that corruption tick damage, and unfortunately, so is the Temi.
Yeah, unfortunate for those two teams. They were all in. Yang depletion, ticking away. The shadow corruption way too high. Both teams realizing that we are going to be ending it right here. At least DRG, if you're going to go out on your shield, find that kill. And looking at the scores right now, ASE's at 12, GG at 7, Bowda at 9, Alliance at 7. Just a nice spread of the top 8. This very, very high kill game. We're going to see ASE, unfortunate for these guys, 12 kills transitioning to Zen game, and they are going to lose 2 of their players, probably with the scuffle at the Spirit Well. We are seeing KLA on that Fairy Monk. Unfortunate for them, they are going to get lobbied out. Their monk is going to fall. Ferio will fall, and Wolves coming back, recovering their game, up to 6 kills already. They did happen to snag that gold armor. There's only 15 players left alive. Usually, game 1 is a slower time. Everyone uses this game to warm up their mechanics, get their day going, but everyone's coming out swinging today. 15 people left alive, 7 minutes at the 7 minutes and 40-second mark. That has to be one of the fastest I've seen in any of these weekly finals.
Going to see a replay. This is how ASC unfortunately are going to lose 2 of their players, Viper and Tessa Ultimates. Just getting so much pressure. Jiang Dong not going to be able to escape the follow-up bonk of that pole sword, as was Wolves with the third party, the charged LNB on those fist blades. And we are going to see ASE reduced to just the Hardy. They could potentially find the turnaround, especially if they're able to get their hands on one of these Rebirth Charms that drops from the Spirit Well, but it definitely is looking more and more likely that GG are going to get the better end of this lobby when it comes to that potential kill score multiplier. However, the last time, ASC were able to keep 2 of their players alive longer than anybody else in the lobby, so I'm not counting them fully out just yet. Is GG. You were talking earlier about one of the teams being one of the best at the realm of Yang. They've also been one of the best at being able to just keep these Spirit Wells, and we actually saw something very similar occur where everyone in the lobby just gives it to free for GG, and now they're going to have to scrap for positioning to make sure that they're not the ones closest to GG. This is the one that didn't have the buff, so GG aren't going to be super stacked in terms of having either Mystic Might with that damage reduction or White Tigers with the ability of just crumbling the lobby in twain. But it is going to be a massive chunk of upgrades that, unfortunately, a lot of these teams in the area were denied. We've still got some of these Viper Tessa and Wu Chen compositions running around with sets of blue and purple armor. We're going to see the buff that it is in the top right, so no White Tigers for us. It is going to be that Mystic Might coming on through, as CXE is going to be spotted on out by Bowder. You just going through the process of ticking off all of the purple bushes making sure that no one's squirreling away. It is going to be the Tessa enchantment. You and the cavalry bloom is going to get swept up by the Bane's Breath. But Bowder do have the players as well as the Wu Chen shield wall to make sure that his armor immediately starts regenerating. As Bowder get the kill and are immediately onto the high ground before any other team can try and take advantage of those health bars starting to drop, because as we talked about at the beginning of this round, before we even went into the game, it's not when the armor falls, it's when the health falls. And my goodness, Bowder's health was starting to get below the sub 50%, and that was an opportunity that Wolves really wanted to kick open.
Now, very, very spooky to go that deep for a singular kill inside that endgame Moonbane. The 80% Moonbane, as I like to call it, takes up 80% of the area, but it also is a gold Moonbane, meaning it does hit a lot faster than a normal Moonbane. Now, you normally can reaction dodge a lot of the drop down Moonbane charges coming down, but sometimes you get surrounded by 3 or 4 hits, and we've seen solo players get annihilated, we've seen teams lose a player and get activated on. But first, GG is going to get activated by the Viper roll. The CGS in the middle is just getting juggled back and forth. He is going to be able to line of sight. No, he's not going to be able to line of sight the V1. Tesla is going to be coming down. He did get his ultimate up, but his immortality is procced right now. He is going to be able to cube out, but now he is vulnerable. He can be taken down if someone focus fires him. Alliance is going to be coming into the spirit wall as well. It looks like GG, no armor to any of their name. They're going to try to give this up and back off right now, but they are all stripped of their armor. Now, Wolves taking advantage of this, sees the low health GG. Uncharacteristic for GG to get lobbied in a situation. They're going to make their way to the high ground, but Bowda is now going to activate onto them, finishing off a CGS. He's not able to get away, and now Bowda is going to lose one player. Yu is going to try to zone out Wolves with his V1. GG 330 is going to get focus attack, push into zone, but Wolves wants to kill instead. Now Bowda's Yu is going to be backing off. Pandemonium is absolutely going off right now as 10 people are left alive in this first game.
Oh, we've still got ultimates in play. Alliance's NY7 comes in with the late last minute Viper V1 collapsing onto Bowda's Yu, who are going to be reduced, I believe, now just to that Wu Chen. Wolves coming through with that Merciless Havoc that set into motion that first contest against GG all that time ago. Alliance's Yuma is going to throw that Tessa ultimate. It is going to set up as well for the Dragon Slayers into Nessa's confirmation lockdown, as we can hear the parries come on through. NY7 did lose his spear. However, one of his players stepped up to the plate and took the punishment follow-up instead, got closer to the player who was able to parry to force the automatic hitbox to turn onto them instead, meaning that NY7 was free to pick that spear back on up as Yuma now frozen. That Tessa ultimate trying to catch on to one of these players from Wolves. That going to utilize that Wu Chen teleport to get both himself and Nai HQ inside one of these buildings, but Alliance see it and track them down. Now it's Nai HQ's turn to come through with that Tessa enchantment, trying to catch on to these players of Alliance who are going to look to iframe out of it with the Wu Chen teleport and put themselves back into the zone before that corruption 6 damage can start to melt those health bars. 6 players left. GG still having one of their players up, but Alliance and Wolves currently going head to head. NY7 will finally be able to take down Wolves. Nai HQ now turns their attention to the last player from the side of GG. That is revealed to be that Hardy, the Hardy ultimate from LXM, going to be forced out as he tries to knock these players into the storm damage, but the setup of the cavalry bloom is going to catch on to Wolves. Zetkin Alliance are going to get the kill instead. LXM now trying to go up into the sky as quickly as he can to keep himself away. Could potentially look to take down one of these players, set that cube all the way up at the start of that ultimate to reposition when Alliance tried to hunt him down, tries to throw out that staff, does get parried, has to utilize the combo break, will now get pushed into the corruption 6 damage, and Alliance with the Viper, Tessa, and Wu Chen composition, the team that we said had a little bit of a struggle in the regular season in comparison to their previous performances this season in NBPL, are going to walk away with the first MVP. Yet again, we can see from game 1, these Tessa, Viper, and Wu Chen teams, they're putting points on the board and getting as many kills as they did. Raven, with that kill score multiplier for being the last team standing, that's going to bump up their placement on the leaderboard significantly, which is exactly the opening Alliance needed.
Fireplace you can get through. So that leaves a lot of options for these teams to exploit the Siphon teams with this Viper composition off spawn.
Yeah, heading now into ASL Speak, we're going to have Alliance versus FPX NY7 weaponless. Going to have to go for the slap. Saga does get that zip coming through from Revenge with the sustain before getting to pick up a greatsword and now turn in onto FPX, charging up the scale rush with that staff. But oh no! Sends it directly onto the Cicada, who had the F ability charged up. Does still manage to find the spacing though, distracting the Cicada long enough for his two other players to clear up onto everyone. But now this is going to be a very important fight. This is BIWEEK3 versus WBG right next to Arcadia for control of that spacing to pick up those Thunder Coins and solve the puzzle to get their hands on Voltpoint Essence, which will come into play, I'm sure, on that first round of Yanger's X1 and OUG going to be very quickly going head to head. WBG also around Imperium could potentially look for the third-party opportunity. As something to talk about is the fact that so many teams headed over towards Skygaze. There is going to be a lot of timing attacks. Wolves drop directly onto Celestial Barge, which is their favorite drop location on Padoria, but all of the other teams currently around Wolves, they all dropped on the outskirts of it to timing attack on through, but Wolves are the ones actually coming in for the third party. Tessa Ultimate has come out, catches onto one of these players, but XEM with that Kylan combo break is able to turn it onto these players of ASC. The problem is, where's Wolves' rest of the team? The Hardy was setting up the cube. The Kylan is going to disengage as a result, but that means that he's out of the mix, and ASC used the numbers advantage to put the second Tessa Ultimate and catch the remaining players of Wolves who got left behind.
ASC making quick work of Wolves. And this is what I was saying about Viper composition. That F3 gets so much value off spawn. And with that blue fist, ASC's Jiangdong and crew are going to be wiping out Wolves. It's really, really tough for Hottie compositions to get a ton of value off spawn. You need to have that Hottie with the cube up early to get that nice rotation, and so you have multiple combo breaks for your team. Now, going back to the south, KLA and JL. I love this area of the map. The beautiful blue leaves. It's had such a nice aesthetic with KLA's QGG is going to be popping that F1. He's going to get F3 to the ground. Nice stagger coming out from the teams, forcing him into a tough position in the stone form. Temion's going to be invested. V1's going to be invested too. JL is going to walk through and try to find a kill onto QG. And like you were saying before, Moxie, it's not going to matter without that silence. He gets going to get shoved off, but what can you do? Send two people over there from both angles, and JL is going to be able to pop that kill. Multiple teams coming in right now. KLA, though, is going to be making it out as JL is going to get staggered and Tessa ulted by GG. Great timing attack coming out from GG's LXM with the Viper. He is going to get Tessa ulted and forced out of the stagger, but it's not going to matter. JL under a ton of pressure, losing one of their players already. Will JL take the salty reset and come back? And you can never count out JL's VVV, Moxie. Never count him out.
He's still alive, but no longer. CJS, though, is struggling against one thing. We're going to see the Viper get that F3 back into cooldown. It's on to one thing, and that is going to make short work of the fighters. Alliance going to be going head-to-head against WBG and X1. All of these players on Mercury River, currently NY7, with that Zai V2, gets the Matari ultimate as well to refresh the F3. Comes in with that fire tick coming on out, as well as the drop of the Bane's Breath, and it lands directly onto Bowders. So unfortunate, but Alliance not going to be taking advantage of the opportunity from the low health players of Barda, instead using that Bane's Breath to try and grab Alliance's Yuma back into the mix. WBG, though, relentless in griefing Alliance from sticking this revive. Another Zayafree is going to be burned so that they can get that player back online, as OUG's SS Viper's ultimate is going to time out without finding that V1 stun onto the Cicada. He doesn't have the damage reduction. He's got to just burn all of his stamina to live long enough for his Wu Chen to teleport everybody out, but FPX are on the hunt. Not only does the Wu Chen teleport now go less distance, it also has the bright homing beacon in the sky, and OUG, instead of teleporting to a higher verticality point, went onto the low ground that FPX immediately get to see Jin coming on through, fakes out the charged RMB drop, goes into that Cicada F1 activation, forcing now everyone from the side of OUG to hold on to those focus hits. Tesla ultimate is going to try to come through. One person does unfortunately go over that Cicada's shoulder. Tesla Enchantment has connected onto this Cicada. He doesn't have his ultimate to use the Furin shoves, and it is going to be his Karumi Jiaohu utilizing that V2 to make sure that everyone from the side of FPX is healed up properly when that enchantment window hits on out. But SS with that F3 is going to make sure that the healing reduction is going to be lessened significantly on the side of FPX. Chases onto the Karumi, makes her back on off so they can turn instead 2 versus 1 onto the Tumult left behind vulnerable. This should be the kill onto Sazi. He's somehow still alive. The Temi gets the combo breaker to come back on through. Xiaohu is going to go down to the hit of the Viper F3. And now with that support removed, with the Temi dealt with, it's just a matter of dealing with Jun on this Cicada. The Fist Blades, jump LMB, Stagger Lock is going to come out, and OUG walk away with the kills.
Nice job from OUG. They make that fight so scrappy, maneuvering onto the rocks. They were under so much pressure. Pure disadvantage with the health, but it's not going to matter because of how valuable that F3 of the Viper is. It's basically a guaranteed AoE focus attack for your team. And first, we're going to get Wolves versus WBG. No ultimate zone is going to be popped. XEM putting pressure onto Axios Matari, but Matari going to pop his F2. Did he dash in though and accidentally touch the zone and lose his ultimate? Volto's going to be coming down. XCM's going to go into zone now. Sleepwalker's going to try to chase, but Wolves going to use that cube perfectly to go back into the zone. WBG has to be careful right now. Both two ultimates are going to be burned right now. Wolves just buying their time. They have the ult advantage right now. Ult advantage, arm advantage, every advantage in the world. We still have, though, that Monk ult on Sleepwalker. Wolves playing this really slow. They do not have the cube up. Now Sleepwalker is going to get aggressed on. He is going to be popping that ultimate. Last ult for them. XEM is going to pop his Kylan ultimate. Sleepwalker looking for a grab. Not able to get it. Looks like Matari going to pop that F2, looking for the stagger right now. XEM down to low health right now. He is going to get grabbed by Sleepwalker. Hadi using his F to get out of dodge, but Sleepwalker is going to pop and get one of the kills. NHQ on the Hadi is going to get double grab. Sleepwalker's going huge for WBG. They were in such a hole, and they're going to climb out on the back of Sleepwalker.
Unfortunately, though, the Hardy Cube meant that Wolves were able to keep 2 of their players alive. The Tianhai ultimate has since timed out. Nai HQ able to find the uppercut connection onto Akshao is going to take him incredibly low with the horizontal follow-up into the jump vertical. And now it is going to be WBG. Without that longevity, Jing does have another Valder ultimate to come on through. Never Forbidden Steel has run on out. Nai HQ still alive, is holding onto the charge verticals on these fans. Walker utilizing that Valda F3 to play behind the bubbles and give himself a little bit of spacing to come on through with that spear. 1-2 light stagger is going to force the combo breaker from the Hardy, but he's going to get clipped by the jump horizontal from the short hop of the Tianhai. Walker is able to get on top of the body, grabs the soul blim for the heal reset, and now goes into the 1v1 against the Zip. Uppercut finds the connection. 1-2 light stagger goes for the tap dodge cancel out of that focus hit. ZK not flashing the red, but Walker done enough damage, does have that Tianhai ultimate if he wants to be able to find it. Mistimes the flash of the red. Parry tries to go for the dodge behind to make sure that ZK doesn't have the distance to catch him with the final huge hit that Walker was looking for. He finally finds the parry to confirm it into the Dragon Slayers for the Nessas follow-up. Doesn't manage to find the charge vertical hit of the 0.9 on that spear. Both of these players going into reset, but that is far more valuable for the Zip, who does have that staff. Walker's going to have to burn the F1 to make sure he doesn't get scooped up into the charged RMB. Throws in the Tianhai ultimate. ZK takes the opportunity to back on off to find a little bit of a reset point. Walker will be able to find the grab, goes for the throw. There is no other player for him to look for the double grab, so he's not going to be able to find the amplified damage, nor the sustain off of the V2. ZK with the terrain is also going to be able to break LOS so that Walker doesn't get the grab opportunity. And you can see him slowly start to shuffle his way a little bit closer, might make a dash towards that Forbidden Seal to make sure that the Zip can't use the ultimate and have the last laugh in terms of overall sustain, and that's exactly what he does. ZK understanding he's removed from 2 of his players, he's going to have to make sure that he can try and find the recovery, has to accept defeat. The Forbidden Seal is going to be the line in the sand that neither of those players want to cross.
Man, WBG Sleepwalker goes huge, not only with his ultimate, but also in the neutral fight. Zipping has every advantage versus the Monk with the amount of sustain from her healing and her F1, the amount of options that gives her. Sleepwalker does get a massive parry. Even with the armor deficit, he brings it back. It's like Wolves coming over to the Salt Flats, looking at the reminiscence of this no ult zone. No ult zone can be seen across the map. It's kind of like the bat signal of the Moonbane. Very, very easy to spot out that action was happening over here. Now in 19 minutes, first Yang is going to be done. DRG, Bauda, KLA, OUG all having the buff. Looks like KLA did pick up the Spirit Well buff. Now going across the map, this is one of the tough parts of getting value off this Vermilions, but it does give you a second life, but finding teams is incredibly difficult as everyone hides. And when it comes down to this last minute, OUG has a tough decision right now. Do they hard commit? Now with Wu Chen, they are a lot safer than normal. They were going to be going against one of their counter comps, so Zai from DRG. Zai's going to be popped that ultimate. V1's going to be popped from SS. Looking for the stagger. They are going to find a stun onto the Zai, but Matari ult is going to be pressed a little bit too late. Stagger will come out and OUG force to pour it out, and DRG wants to keep this fight going. Both teams have Vermilion's buff, but it looks like OUG's buff is going to be running out before DRG's. F3 going to be coming down. Meteor coming down hot. Kurumi ult is going to be going down, but DRG is going to get taken down by the focus fire of OUG. That stagger and cover with focus just too hard to deal with, and OUG is going to pick up a nice 3-piece.
I mean, they've also power spiked. They went into a realm of Yang. They have a legendary weapon on that Viper to be able to scale up the damage on that F3, and it is going to be absolutely massive in terms of hitting those, as Alliance are going to be jumping onto players from X1 who are fresh off of that Soul Altar NY7 with the Zai engagement. Alliance, remember, are running that Z-ping over the Kurumi. They do have that Yang depletion as that DI goes for the uppercut catch on those halberds, turning onto Revenge to try and just zone this player away from the team so that the sustain is not available. NY7 with that Zai is going to be dropping down to make sure that his zip is peeled full and kept alive intact in LOS to throw out those Fs. But now ZDI, by forcing that Zai V2, can come through with the Kylan ultimate and upset the apple cart, staggering everybody on the side of Alliance before the Zai can build into that hit of damage. But Bauda coming on through with the third party are actually going to be able to confirm all of these kills. Yuran with the legendary Hang Sword comes on out, sits into that charged RMB before turning onto Alliance's Revenge. Alliance's Yuma will still live, but it looks like they're still having to take a fight against X1 ZDI, and Bauda still around in this space. Return to the scene of the crime and find more players to turn onto. Combo Breaker now burnt out from the side of the Kyle, and Yuran goes for the Red Flash Safari, will not be able to find it, but this time around they will be able to find the connection. Peak with the parry sets Yuran up for the follow-up. Alliance with one of their players alive is just going to be Yuma on the Matari, but even with the Matari mobility, he's not going to be able to escape the detriment, the ticking time bomb of the Yang depletion that he is afflicted by. And unfortunately, he isn't even going to be able to use the pillar and the fan in his pocket to look for the faster charging skill rushes, as OUG will be able to take him down. Bauda, though, could potentially turn on to OUG because they're also nearby, as Bauda are currently on 10 eliminations and at the top of the leaderboard. OUG, in the meantime, much further down, needing every single kill they possibly can find, because this is their big climb game. Alliance being at that 43.7 standings and less than 30 points away from match point eligibility means that these teams towards the lower end of the leaderboard, Raven, need to get a move on. They need to pick up a lot of these kills early in these games before hero points get refreshed.
Yeah, we're nearing that halfway point already. Teams are hitting that 35 point mark. Now, the match point threshold is 70, meaning once you hit that threshold, if you MVP the game, regardless of what round it is, past 70 points, you will end the tournament. Now, we've seen in the past the tournament being ended in 4 rounds by Wolves, but we mainly see it go the distance with 3 to 5 teams on match point games 7 and 8. Now, second Realm of Yang is going to be coming up. Bauda setting up to go in on that Matari Zai, but it looks like they're going to just go for that Freezies.
Oh, no.
Going in. Unlucky for them, Bauda's actually out trying to go in and ninja a res for his team.
Oh, dear.
But the other team was able to go in at the same time, and now in a 1v3 situation, can Bauda's Axio find a win here? He is going to be popping his ultimate, looking for the V2 poured in, but after he's going to be invested by the crewmate, no messing around here, doesn't want to even give the possibility of losing this. Nice full charge going to be coming out, only down to 2 teleports. Axio is going to get hit by the focus slide over and over by this great sword. He does get a port, a nice double charge going to be coming in, single charge going out onto the Zai. Don Q going to take a little bit of damage, and now Axio has the Zai down to last hit, but only a sliver of health for himself. Kurumi's going to come in with the grapple kick, and he's not able to find the kill. Calculated gamble. Could have paid off, and they were just a millisecond off from getting a free Realm of Yang.
I mean, you saw it on the player cam. Like, he's not even unhappy. He's just laughing because he knows, like, 1 versus 3, Matari not having a combo break, that would have been incredibly difficult for him to be able to walk away with that win. Even for any other player, any other hero, or 1 versus 3 situation is so rare that we actually get to see it successfully go to the way of the player in that one side. It's Kayle. It feels like they always get Cavalry Bloom. Like, QGG always gravitates, especially when he's on Takeda. See, that Cavalry Bloom also has the Shaolin state for those dual blades as well. Bauda going to be running across the map amok with Draco Storm alongside DRG, as we're going to have a look at the replay to see how Bauda won theirs. Yuran getting bopped all around the shop by that Kylan ultimate. Still holds on to his V2, though. Every single player from Bauda is just outliving the Kylan ultimate duration with this Kurumi armor circle. Bauda's Yuran has full armor shielding now. Does still have the entire duration of his V2 to turn and catch that Zip, who has to burn out that Hardy cube to escape the fire tick proc of cutting that healing reduction, as Yuran, now absolutely free, is still getting pressured by the Hardy in this ultimate. They're fully aware that Yuran still has the ultimate and can use that to nullify every bit of healing available for X1, but unfortunately they just don't have enough damage to be able to blitz these players off Bauda. The Kurumi is still standing. The Kylan ultimate was not able to find the isolation that they were looking for, nor force out that Zai. Because one thing that Zai can do to escape that Kylan pressure is popping the ultimate and getting the immediate F-through reset to reposition away from those dash throughs. But Yuran was just able to hold entirely firm and sit in use ultimate. Lovely stuff coming on through from Bauda to have that confidence, that assuredness of being able to trust in your teammates that they will be able to get you through. And then when those ultimates have been removed and you go back to that neutral, that Kurumi tether is just so immensely strong at tanking all of the damage that can come out from ultimates and weapons alike.
Yeah, pointing out the Kurumi ultimate and the trust they had in you is one of the downsides of Kylan versus the other strong position ones. Takeda, when he shoves, you're not really flying around. You're getting staggered and held in place. Same thing with a V1 stun from Viper. Same thing with Monk grabs. You have a static target, but when it comes to Kylan, it's very, very hard to follow up the damage when Kylan is slashing through his target over and over. And normally in the Kurumi circle, it would be easy to burst them, but they do a good job of soaking up all of that Kurumi circle for maximum value off the armor. Now we're going to get Wolves being chased down by KLA. Now, KLA just letting WBG know, or Axial know, that he will be changed down. It's not even, I thought it was a full trios team. It's only a solo player.
It's just Axial.
This is one of the tough parts of, we were looking at all these trios teams glyphs going in, and normally one player does have maximum grapple distance, not always maximum grapple speed, but you're seeing why having grapple speed ends up being so critical. Then the mid game, in these end games, when you're chasing down a very, very important kill, in some cases, you never know what Jade someone is holding. Having that grapple distance is the only way you're going to ever secure it. And when you're playing that Sand Siphon, in the past, it's been running discount. After looking at a lot of the glyphs today, most people are just running Rage now. Now, going back to the realm of Yang, Alliance's Zai composition, I would say, is probably their second best composition behind their Viper. NY7 is going to be falling down, but now we got Yoma versus Down Q and DRG. Yoma has been doing work on the Matari, finding multiple MVPs. He's going to get the nice reset right now, looking over at Revenge. Nice job by Revenge, creating some space for his team to get the heal. F1 going to be invested by him on the zipping, and we'll get the follow-up F3. Nice juggle to be coming down. F3 going to be invested on the Zai from Don Q, trying to create some space. Kakaxi's going to be coming in. Looks for the jump parry. Super ambitious versus two players rolling up with the jump parry. He is going to get parried. Don Q on the Zai, and now the Matari Kakaxi is going to get parried, and Alliance is going to clutch this 3v2 situation, an unlikely situation. No, they're not. I spoke too soon. DRG comes back with the F3 on Zai, even though Matari was ulted. Back-to-back errors coming down, but DRG is going to come out on top.
Yep. Even when you're in that Matari ultimate, you're not impervious to damage. You are not impervious to that Zai F3, which has such a huge hitbox. DRG, that was how they were able to get their hands. I believe they picked up either White Tigers was the buff that they opted for, as that has since run out. They're eyeing up currently KLA, as we're gonna see Spiritwell spawning him through. This does not have the buff. This is the loot upgrade. And as a result, a lot of these Viper tests from Wuchang compositions who had not got the opportunity to go for those Realm of Yang fights and scale into the late game are going to be eyeing up control of that one, since it is not going to be loot locked to whoever picks it on up. Everybody is going to be looking for what I affectionately call the smash and grab. It's very much like, you know, the television series where they give you like 5 minutes in the supermarket and you have a trolley and you need to fill that trolley with absolutely everything in the shelves, and what you can fit in the trolley and run out with, that's what you get to keep. It's essentially the Mad Dash. As about as Uran with the dual halberds is going to be utilizing those charge RMBs to just create some spacing between himself and GG, but GG, as we've talked about, needing that loot upgrade, are going to be holding firm in this space, at least for a little while, until KLA, a better equipped team, is going to show up to the party and force them out. No one's fully abandoning the scene, though. Everyone is more than happy to just let KLA take the brunt of focus from all of these players in the lobby, so that when that Spirit Dome pops, the ultimates can come on out. OUG trying to stir the pot, a la Alliance with SS drop down with that Viper V1, finding the connection immediately onto Wolves, taking advantage of the fact that Wolves playing forward with their Zip and Kylan did not have an eye on the Hardy, who was actually waiting to the back of that position to set up the cube. Spirit Dome is going to pop. Tesla Ultimate is going to get thrown into the mix of things alongside all of that loot, and DRG are going to be bearing the brunt of it. Lovely little block coming in through with the charged R&B on the fan from the Zai's teammate to make sure that that 3-second enchantment window doesn't take their Zai down too long, as Wolves unfortunately down that Hardy, down that combo break ability to reposition, having to burn the Kylan ultimate instead to make sure that they have a safe space carved out for them, as OUG going to go low, have the luxury of the Wuchen teleport to disengage, something that Wolves sadly do not have. Wolves taking their chances with RNG in the middle of the Bane's Breath. XEM gets grapple locked onto GG with the flyby grapple horizontal follow through, staggering him into the hit of the Bane's Breath, and GG picking up the kill, but they've stuck around in this Bane's Breath long enough that they're now getting turned onto by all of the other teams in the area.
Yeah, great job from GG. We saw them in pure shambles. And like you were saying, Moxie, they were making a mad dash. Kind of like, you made me think of a shopping spree, like what is this, Black Friday? We're all making a mad dash for the last sale, that last armor. I got the blue armor. I want that purple. I want that gold armor. We're gonna go in there, coming in at the last sets. But we see GG make the play for this, and now they've salvaged the game. Now they're sitting pretty at 9 kills, and now potentially contesting for this last little bit. They're gonna get a nice terrain situation here. Lots of high cliffs, lots of open ground. Depending on how this last circle ends up closing out, Vipers do have a nice little edge here to get some really, really big drop downs. We saw OUG stir the pot, being one of the first initiators to drop down with that V1, is getting everyone to panic and flinch at the pressure. But this is what the Spirit Wall that really, really matters. It has the buff and allows teams to snowball here. They're able to pop their ultimate and get 2 rounds of ultimate. So 6 ults total potentially if they're able to claim this. But most teams now will not let you claim this for free. 19 players alive, all descending upon this. We got the wall for a nice cover right now. F3 Kurumi ult on the KLA's Takeda coming in and out. But DRG playing it safe, trying to keep their back against the zone so no team can sneak up behind them. Donkyu's going to pop a heal, try to set up some focus, but we're only at a quarter of this Spirit Well. Everyone's coming in and out, not letting this build up. Last time we've seen the delay of here pull in the zone. After it's going to be invested by Donkyu, Zyult's going to be coming down. DRG is all in. They want this buff right now. Last little smidge left. Can DRG claim it? They are going to be able to claim it. And now Donkey is going to go crazy with this Zai ultimate. Takeda ult from Kayla's QGG is going to be popped to peel out of there. They are going to find KLA support, I believe, here. But Temi ult's going to be invested to peel for the support to get out of there. But Taria ult is going to be invested to refresh that comment. Donkyu's desperately looking for the 1 HP player. He is going to find Kayla's Godlay and get that Soul Bloom and continue his rampage as they set up to win this game 2.
ASC, you can see though, on this Viper composition, have made sure to fortify, because this is one of the other ways that you can counter that Spirit Well. You just position far enough away from it that whenever the team picks up the buff, you are out of the line of fire. Everyone trying to find a safe space. Unfortunately for OUG, they have absolutely none right now. Everywhere they turn, they're getting turned on to. They're being chased down by both ASC and Bowder and GG. Bowder and GG having a little bit of a truce down towards the canyon, making sure that if they do take a fight, if they use those ultimates, they're going to be the next team that get turned on to. Yes, they might pick up 1 or 2 kills, but it's not going to be the last team standing, nor the kill multiplier that they're looking for. OUG forcing ASC's hand into burning that Witch and teleport. The Scourge from SS to set the charged RMB on that Hangswood, looking for the drop down. The Tester enchantment now getting called into the mix as OUG know that they can stick this damage without the Witch and teleport to bail ASC away from the mix. But SS is getting turned on. He doesn't have that Viper V1 to tank the damage, and he's going to go down instead. Biter on that low ground, able to pick him out. Wolves now, ZK getting incredibly low. ASC's Moran also not going to have the numbers of his teammates to fall into position and provide a distraction long enough for him to find that recovery. GG with LXM's late hit of a Viper V1 dropping down and finding a lot of players staggered. Turns in with the charged RMB on that Fang, catches onto ASC's Jiang Dong, but Bowder with that Kurumi V2 are going to keep themselves not just alive, but also able to pick up a lot of kills onto GG. 3-3-0 now trying to live as long as he possibly can. Yiran does have that Zai ultimate still available to pop, uses the F3 to connect onto these players, keeping them in the zone a little bit longer as Bowder goes full gatekeeper mode. Currently, Yiran now with that V2 gets the reset onto the F3, still hasn't burned it out just yet, utilizes it to catch onto the players and keep them on the cliff for his teammates to follow up when they get stuck on those buttery rocks. Loses a lot of his armor, but already has an armor reset ready and prepared. Bowder repaired one of the purple sets of armor they picked up from one of the bodies and dropped it onto the low ground for their Zai to kite back to. Smart heads-up play coming through from this team that are currently on 16 kills and counting, running the lobby as Wolves get eviscerated by the F3 and all of the follow-up. Bowder with the perfect positioning, with the perfect cycling of their ultimates, now going to be forced out of their position on this low ground as the storm collapses and pushes them closer to these players left behind. DRG making a late play, going to get caught out by that Tessa enchantment, but Dongqing does have that Kurumi Tether snap to tank the damage coming on through for the next 4 seconds. Armor Circle now going to be invested. Dongqing just trying to get enough damage to build into this V2-1. Last time the recast comes on out, DRG trying to knock KLA into the Storm Corruption Tick damage before we see the heal off, but GG making a last break for it as well. CJS comes on out. The flame is to absolutely cook the players in position since the Kurumi no longer has the ability to cleanse, but Bowder played the long con. Who walks away the last team standing? I think it might have been Bowder, Raven. And if it was, that is going to be a lot of points going the way of the Xiphon composition. What a smart heads-up play coming from them. Brilliant positioning, brilliant capitalization on all of the teams around them. And they're on a comp that every other team in that lobby was trying to third party and shock kills from.
Now, Bowder the bottom right of Hollowrouth, but game number 3, first map on Hollowrouth, Firefly map. We're going to start out with Wolves and FPX low key on the bottom left of the map with some Fireflies.
Yeah, we might be heading over though to look at the fight between DRG and OUG currently going on, although it looks like it's just getting to the end as DRG have been able to take down 2 players of OUG. KLA, as you said, Raven, kiting over to grab those Fireflies on the outskirts of the city of Tang. Something to note as well is that both of those Temis, we were talking about that Takeda F2 being a little bit of a cat amongst the pigeons. Both of these Temis are running the V3, so there's going to be a lot of Wisp resets coming on through when we do see those contests into those Spirit Wells, as it is going to be WBG taking a little bit of a slower start. DRG also going to be grabbing some of those Darktide coins to afford the Bane's Breath. No one is dropping it at the moment just now, as when one team goes for the Moonbane, it does mean that no one is able to drop it. Might be dropped onto City of Tang because we see so many of these teams surrounding this space so they can break all of those destructibles and grab themselves those coins as quickly as possible. Jun going to be grabbing himself a parry onto KLA CXE, who does get that zip sustainability, comes on through. Now that his health has been topped on off to have the full hit of these dashes, breaking on out onto these players. FPX also going to be coming on out with their own Kylan ultimate, finding these dashers, finding that sustain. Charged R&B on the dual halberds coming out from Jiao Hu. But both of these Kylan teams going to have to be incredibly quick in figuring out how they want to play into the third party that just showed up. Wolves breaking into the mix with that Tessa enchantment. XEM trying to take advantage of the chaos collapsing onto any of these players that have isolated themselves away. Looks like they've been able to find one onto FPX's Sansei. Dragon Slayers into Nezis is going to set things up for them to grab the kill, but now they're getting third and fourth partied onto by another Viper and Tessa Wuchen team. XEM breaks into the building to try and live through the 3-second stagger duration of that Tessa ultimate, but he gets spotted down by QCG, who comes on through with the punishment. Has to burn that every hit of damage, connects onto this Hardy before taking to the walls and utilizing those skill rushes to break away so many players in the area. It is absolute carnage, but that is benefiting the Tessa Viper and Wuchen teams perfectly because of the speed that Tessa was able to build her ultimate, far surpassing everyone else who needs to hit 100% of rage. Another Tessa enchantment comes on through for X1 to try and turn the attention onto some of these other players, but ZDI is going to lose the staff, gets parried by KLA's Hardy and has to go on the run. They don't have the Wuchen teleport to get themselves out of the mix, and now with the Moonbane being dropped directly onto the top of City of Tang, it is an absolute disengagement race as all of these players try and outlive the absolute chaos going on around them.
DRG showing up last to the party, you know, picking up the scraps, but Nice little bit of kills they're able to pick up, getting 5 off spawn. Now off to the side though, isolated fight. Wolves on the recovery is going to be running into the blue armor of KLA. CXZ is going to get staggered by the Tesla ultimate, but NHQ on the Tesla going to be getting juggled. 3 KLA members all staggering him. Can he find an opening to come back? He cannot. The lockdown of KLA is just too strong. Now looking at the off spawn, the remnants of Tang is going to be moving out to the side. KLA does have 3 ultimates up. They're sitting pretty, waiting for that next Realm of Yang. Will DRG contest? DRG does have 5 kills right now. Do they want more? 5 before the first Realm of Yang. Definitely really, really good. Moving on to this first Realm of Yang. Teams like to set up, get those blue jades going, open it up, getting full 6 jades. Blue armor with 6 jades is even better than having purple armor with just a bunch of gray jades. Now we're going to get Alliance showing up on their tried and true Viper combination. NY7 on the Viper are going to be leading the charge, looking for that F3. And looks like they're coming from Puzzle. NY7 with a gold fan. DRG has to be really careful right now. NY7 at 90% is going to have ult online. DRG does not want to take this fight. They want to work their way to this first Realm of Yang, but Alliance does not care. They want to take this fight. They don't mind fighting on the outside. NY7 is going to be leading with that F3. Has the ultimate online, but Moonbane is going to be coming down by Alliance. They want to hold players down. Max range grapple coming out from NY7. He's going to pop the V1. They don't need to get all 3, just need to get 1. Hottie is going to get ulted by the Tesla. He's going to cube out of there. Can they find the kill onto them? Kylan is coming in with the nice peel, but Yuma is going to find that musket shot, and the Moonbane should be cleaning up DRG, but WX98 is going to be able to make it out on that Kylan, making his way back into Tang. Will he be able to survive though? Last one standing for his team. They do have Resurrect on the zipping to play off, but it's going to be really tough to find that Resurrect this later. And NY7 sniffs. They'll know something's up right now. You're going to pop the F3. Not able to find it on the kind, but WX98 cannot survive. Great play from Alliance to pick up these 3 frags before this first Realm of Yang.
Yeah, really good opening as well to come in with the lead on that Viper F3 and then the Tesla ultimate to force the Hardy into burning that cube, which allowed Alliance's Viper NY7 to close up the distance, see where the Hardy had set the cube up, make sure that the V1 is within range to catch both the Hardy but also that cube distance, that all of the players, if they use that combo breaker to escape the follow-up coming through from Alliance, would be forced into having to deal with as well. Alliance now turning their attention onto X1. NY7 will get cut onto by that Tesla enchantment. The 3-second stagger is going to come through. His Wuchen trying to use those walls and peel for him so he can have the shield regeneration. Does still have that legendary fan for the fast resets on those scale rushes. And X1 have not been able to find any damage that has stuck to these players. Now Alliance are going to be leading in with their own Tester enchantment. NY7 weaving in that Viper F3, gets hit back to his players with the charged RMB on that longsword, but that puts him in perfect position to throw the charged RMB and take down X1's ZDI. X1 were not ready for that fan to be legendary damage scaling. Now with the Wuchen teleport burned out, X1 are having to throw in that Viper V1, but immediately it's going to be taken off of the board. Alliance converge, collapsing onto the left behind Viper that X1 have chosen to act as a sacrifice, trying to live as long as possible to give his 2 teammates as long time as they possibly can to break away from these players of Alliance's side. Unfortunately, though, he's run directly into another team, and by trying to move away from OUG, understand that this team has ultimates, and Alliance are the greater of 2 evils. LYD puts himself right back into the crosshairs, and Revenge with the bow will be able to claim the kill. Alliance now did get kited into OUG. We did see the Karumi tether from OUG's side to make sure that Alliance weren't able to chunk through the armor and into the health bar, and that is going to allow Alliance the recent opportunity necessary, as in the meantime ASE are able to get their hands on 2 rebirth charms. But this next aspect of the game, Raven, that's going to decide the tempo and pacing of the mid to late. The first Realm of Yang is on the board, and JL is going to be going up against Bowder.
Ooh, the two heavyweights going at it. JL, VVV on the Takeda versus you. VVV is a little bit more scaled up, has the purple fist right now, but you with the fan, tried and true fan on the Kylan. It looks like Hadiel is going to be invested. VVV looking for the people. He's going for a ride. Peak on the zipping, putting VVV in the pressure, but JL is going to be leading with the Kurumi ult for their first ultimate. VVV will pop his Takeda ult now. Kylan ult coming out with the juggles, not getting any pressure out, but TXJ has his health stripped from him. I mean, the armor circle is going to be helping him and coming back out. Now you put it against the corner from VVV. One more shove to his name. He is able to take down you with the Temi ult to secure the kill as well. Peak is going to get slammed down by the F1. Nice parry coming out from VVV. 1v3ing. Walking through Bowder right now. VVV on the Takeda is a juggernaut. Gonna get that parry, closing it out for his team. And JL letting everyone know, you're just playing our composition. We are the inventors. They played the perfect counter into Bowder.
I mean, someone wasn't expecting the Takeda F2. It's the storyline of that Realm of Yang, as Alliance now going to be heading up against Wolves. Wolves with the Viper V1 going to be forcing Alliance into using that Wu Chen teleport to temporarily disengage and distance themselves from the fight. Both of these teams are going to have to be very careful. Realm of Yang has just been won. JL and KLA are going to be out hunting the teams that are fighting, hunting for teams that they can kill. Looks like Wolves were able to pick themselves up a Draco Storm off a Spirit Well as well, which is the reason why Alliance are just full disengaging. They do not want to take this fight against this team, but Yuma gets caught out behind into the first hit of damage into the Tessa ultimate follow-up as well. That 3-second enchantment window, the charged RMB on the staff sets up for the first frame of charged vertical on that pole sword, and he is going to disappear as Wolves having to deal with Alliance now trying to converge and find a flank onto this team, but they are able to spot it out. An Alliance without the players, without the ultimates, are going to falter as Wolves with that additional damage off of that Draco Storm just melting the health bars and getting their hands on the legendary fan. Alliance not going to be able to get into the double digits. This is not going to be that breakaway game. Raven, yet again, when they're at the top, they're denied that potential of moving ever closer to match point.
Now going back to the Rebel again, we're going to have a nice replay. FBX versus KLA. CXZ on the Kylan, taking the zipping for a ride. How you in a tough position right now. Half health. CXZ still has that Kylan ultimate, but the peel from the Hottie coming in hot. Nice job popping ultimate to iframe through the zipping, having trouble getting away from the pressure. The car crash coming in, and he's going to plow through FBX now with the cleanup. KLA going to be winning this Realm of Yang. All of their players at high health, but this is a problem with Kylan. The slashes take up a lot of his health. He is vulnerable coming out of this, of his ultimate. Nice peel from his teammates. FPX down to their last player, 1v3 situation. Junks not able to do it. KLA. Now on the outside though, both Rebellion Buffs teams going at it. Temiel's gonna be invested. OUG's coming in. 3 teams just plowing in. F3 gonna be flying in. Jinyu finds the first kill. And now Bowdo coming in. 4 teams all jumping in after that Realm of Yang.
Literally every single team in this lobby almost is on the outskirts of Plumed right now. GG with that Kurumi Teva onto CJS. Does still have that IV2, also still has Yang depletion, so GG not going to be able to disengage even when these teams show up to the fray. They have to hold their ground. They need these kills. They need the soul blimps to cleanse. There's OUG looking to keep things going. Bowder's Yuda with that Kylan ultimate, the late V2, catching out so many of these players. Bowder with the perfect timing attack, yet again show up late to the party when everyone has burned through these resources. Kurumi V2 is going to try and keep everyone from the side of GG alive and healthy as Bowder put themselves onto the high ground. The fight potentially kiting over towards Ballista play from coming on out, and immediately you can see the teams with the macro sense getting into position to either challenge the Ballista contest from other teams or utilize it for their own gain. Bowder's you now with that pistol, putting pressure onto GG's LXM, then having to turn onto the players of FPX who were looking to sandwich Bowder in between them, but GG still having to deal with X1, and the ballista is in play! The jousting is out! CXE with the 40 horsepower on the ballista wins the jousting match against his opponent on the opposite end. X1 forced into throwing in that Wuchen teleport, retreating away from the ballista 1v1 with their tail between their legs, and that is why ballista macro matters.
There's a Congo line of third parties just south of Plume Castle at the puzzle. Now looking at the scores, Bowder with 3, GG with 3, everyone with some skills with kills with the exception of WBG, and it's still going right now. Second Realm of Yang is going to be coming out. Multiple teams going to make their way towards this. Will a Viper team go into this Realm of Yang? And this is what I was saying, Moxie, that because there are so many durable teams, it's a little bit harder for Viper teams to get so much pressure out. Now, we saw Alliance, they get 9 kills off spawn, but going into this mid game, this is the power spike of the Siphon, of the Hottie comms going into this middle game where the Takedas have that purple and gold ultimate. Hotties and Kylans have that gold weapon. They hit for trucks right now. We are going to see Wolves XCM with the gold fan going to be trying to claim this spirit wall, and this is where ViperCom does shine a lot. They can overcommit to fighting for that spirit wall, and if they're challenged, back out and get out of there. Now we're gonna get Bowda's you versus KLA. Always a fun time seeing you fight his former teammates. You know, we have Bowda on the Kylan, you taking up to the sky, looking for the opener. Drop down focus is going to be coming out, looking for the flank, and then immediately switching targets him to the other side. You trying to impose his will on to KLA. Kylan ult not popped yet. Hottie ults are going to be going off, trying to get some value off. You're hearing the cubes go down, and now Kylan is forced to pop his ultimate. You matches immediately, uses his cube, looking for the flank. Unfortunately, not able to find it, but they have so much momentum. But you health chipping down, not landing some of these slashes, doing a lot of damage to himself. CXC doing a good job of damage controlling the situation, but you is going to get a nice parry with this ultimate onto the zipping, getting the juggles off. Now CXC going to pop his gold F to try to peel for his teammates, trying to buy time right now for his teammates to make something happen. And Bowda's peak on the zipping is going to get staggered right now. Has to be very careful. He gets pushed against the wall. Now KLA has turned this match around. KLA, Hottie is going to pop that cube down. They have a ton of pressure going down, but cube is up for Bowda. You're on, and you have a chance to bring this back. Can they do it, Moxie?
It's gonna be close, as both Hotties have their ultimates up. We see the aerial dogfight come on through. QGG trying to charge up those triple hits of damage. With the drive-bys, forces the combo break from the Hottie as that ultimate drops on out, finds the parry onto Yiran as well, and KLA before timeout will be able to see themselves the winner of that mirror match, claim themselves that Realm of Yang, but crucially, it's not before these teams have probably been able to pick up that buff from the Spirit World, because that Realm of Yang, oh, never mind, Wolves have been kiting it out for as long as they possibly can. They're about to get invaded right now by KLA. Bowda also going to be in the area in soul form, looking to find a team that they can take a fight against. Unfortunately for them, they don't exactly want to go up against the Wuchen team, because they'll just pull lighters. We can have a look and see how this Realm of Yang went on down. JL versus ASE. BVV gets hit into that Dragon Slayer's Nezha's Cleave, activates that Takeda ultimate, has 3 Furin shoves to his name to lead into the jump Ellen Bleeze on those fist blades, sets up the scale, which gets hit into with that Temi Wisp. Remember, both of these teams are running the Temi V3, as we can see just the cleanup on that last player of support coming on through. JL taking a little bit of downtime over towards Matab to go shopping and pick themselves up some Soul Jades of Destiny, rubbing their hands onto Mystic Midas. Currently, Wolves have not actually picked up the buff, so I would assume that they're still going to be camping out that Spirit Wall for as long as they possibly can, which tells me that there's going to be a very active fight going down in a matter of moments, as KLA do still have Draco Storm are going to be looking to see if they can find any players out towards the edges, any teams that haven't been able to get the best handle of loot or are potentially missing teammates and are looking to squirrel themselves away in the sidelines in the hopes of finding safety. There's a Bowder with Yang Depletion are out on the prowl. They've been able to figure out where OUG is. Unfortunately for them, OUG is far more skilled than they are. Forbidden Seal could also potentially come into play, as it is going to be OUG on the Xiphon composition going head-to-head with the Zip, Kyle, and Hardy, which is not a comp that Bowder want to try and challenge. They know that if that Xy V2 comes out, their Karoo or their Zipping is not going to be able to keep that Kylan healed for him to find the full value of those slashes. And because of this, Bowder choose actually to bite the bullet. Instead of engaging, they back off and look for a better composition to go up against.
Yeah, it's not really smart to go into that fight with the Yang Depletion. It's very obvious when you take a fight very early that you are the team that's desperate for the Yang Depletion. Now, the great thing that Naraka has added is on that second round, when you have the Yang Depletion, they added a lot more time, so you can buy time and pick your fights wisely. Battle's going to get aggressed on by ASC. ASC, 2 minutes left on the Yang Depletion. They're going to invest that Temi ult already. Hadi also going to be brought down, but Hadi's stuck in the wall right now. He is going to be able to pop the cube, but now the Zipping's left behind. She did pop her cube already. Peak, though, under a ton of pressure. Kylan's going to be coming in, get that first juggle. Creates tons of space for her Zipping to get out right now. Now, Moran on the crewmate is going to be taking a lot of pressure. Same thing with Takeda getting shoved out. They have to be careful with the roller. Now, Bowda's jumping in as well, finding the opportunity for this third party. Crewmate also going to be invested already. You down to half health right now. Has to be careful. He is Tessa ulting right now. Xiaowen on the Takeda, going to pop that F1. No one's going to be hitting them. I spoke too soon. Out of nowhere, OUG's the king on the Matari is going to pick that kill, and the whole lobby is descending upon this roller area. 4 teams all here right now. All the Yang Depletion teams trying to desperately cure right now. KLA with the advantage right now. Kylan Alt's going to be invented by CXZ. He's looking to pick up some kills for his team. He is going to get 10 ultimate right now. Deep Fried right now, down to 1 HP. Is going to pop that ultimate. Tessa on the stagger. KLA trying to desperately peel for him. Wolves on the outside, desperately looking for this kill, but CXZ, nice peel coming out from his teammates to get him out of there. So many teams coming out over here. Still 22 people are left alive in this lobby.
And I mean, JL just showed up to the party as well. And because they just showed up, they've got all of their ultimates, Raven. They're about to just make an absolute splash when they decide to drop on through. Roller still going to be in play. JL not deciding to show their hand. The fighting has since simmered down. The teams that had Yang Depletion having found the kills to be able to cleanse that one is going to reduce the aggression that all of these players are forced into. And so JL aren't going to be able to find that opportunity to cross the fortification of the Thorny Roller track and collapse onto these players that are low, because everyone found the reset point. As Wolves, with that Mystic Might and that damage reduction, have been able to keep themselves alive, even in the face of all of the burst damage ultimates, like that Takeda, like that Kylan, coming on through. But this is going to be a very tough final zone. Thorny Rollers always are a very tough final zone, especially if that is where the Spirit Wall decides to spawn on up, as Wolves get collapsed onto by KLA 17S with the Nessas, forcing the Tessa immediately to go for that enchantment follow-up. XEM will not get collapsed onto, but unfortunately for him, his Tessa will. There is no follow-through from any of the teams in the area, and Wolves still having the damage reduction off of that Mystic Might. It is going to mean that their health bars don't fall low enough to provide that third-party opportunity, as it looks like everyone who was fighting around Jin's Armory have since moved position over towards Matab, and this is a very interesting place to take fights in as well, because of the amount of layers that there are to this building. It is absolutely perfect for drop-down assassinations that you're not expecting, as Wolves trying to find these hits of the F3 to confirm that immediate burst of damage onto KLA to stunt any form of sustain that is available to the Zips team. Will be able to find the drop down, but it's OUG that they have to bend the knee to, as it is going to be XEM backing and off, taking a heal. KLA did lose their players, but unfortunately for Wolves, it wasn't kills to their tally. It was to teams in the surrounding area. 17S is going to try and make a play, but he gets spotted out as he moves over towards the Soul Altar. Thinks better of it. It is better to not bring your teammate back into the mix, get jumped onto by all of the teams when you're low in loot, and provide potentially another kill to get these teams closer to that kill score multiplier. Unfortunately for KLA, this probably means that it's just going to be their lone Zip against the world. And when you have the Zip, the Hardy, and the Kylan, the Zip is the last hero you want to rely on when we go to a final zone collapse.
Now, it's crazy that you would say that zipping is the least reliable, but it's true. Kylan and Hadi have so much more utility. Zipping in trios ends up just being a punching bag when she's left alone, but we're going to get a nice little stacked endgame here. And like you were pointing out, Moxie, a lot of verticality here in Metab. Probably going to be going off to heal off, if I had to guess. With so much verticality, a lot of teams are going to opt to just securing their layer, securing their level, and just not letting another team contest for them. And with every team having a support player, most likely, I'd be very surprised if it's not going to be some type of two-way and three-way tie. We did see a four-way tie in solos yesterday. Will we see a three or four-way tie today in trios? A little bit more difficult because we got the threat of the Viper drop, and we still haven't seen whether or not the Spirit Wall is going to be that Tiger Buzz.
It's White Tigers. It's in the top right now.
Already is the White Tigers Buzz. The Thanos Snap is going to be there for the taking. Which team is going to aggress for this? Now, JL is pretty stacked when it comes to going for this, and this is where Siphon definitely shines. Now, you do have to pick up your spots very, very carefully here because you are all in. It's not like the Hottie composition where you can cube out of the situation, back off if things go wrong. Once you start investing your ultimates and another team pushes you off, you are all in. Temiult's going to be cutting off this half. Nice job from TXJ, and it looks like they've been doing the prep work. They are going to be waiting for this last sliver of health to try to wait and grab that last little bit. They are going to catch it. Now JL has a chance for the Thanos Snap. Are they going to get that snowball, string a couple kills together, and possibly execute the rest of the lobby? There's 19 people left alive. That means 16 people are left for the taking.
The loadout! Phoenix first, Wild Windspout, and a Flamer. FPX might be named after a phoenix, but unfortunately they are not rising from the flames of that one. JL's VVV putting all of the pressure onto these players. Wolves going to be dropping in that zoning Tessa enchantment to try and keep JL off, but unfortunately for them, they put their back towards the zone, and VVV finds the follow-up with the Fury Shove, trying to push them further into that Storm Corruption tick. Damage, they get another kill! Slowly getting closer and closer to the ability to just snap their fingers and take every single player in this lobby out in one fell swoop. Witch and Teleport has been invested. Viper ultimate now going to be coming on through. VVV does not have Fury Shoves to expand, but he does have a Karumi ultimate to stand in, and his health bar barely budges. Gets that F3 when the Tether snaps. That Cicada is going to get much more aggressive. And we are going to see every single other team that is not JL put themselves onto the high ground, try and create more distance between themselves and the team with White Tigers, so that if the shockwaves start to pop off, they have that distance away from the 40 meters attribution range, as it is going to be Wild Windspout into Phoenix, into Corruption damage, and X1's LYD. One of these players' former teammates gets absolutely dusted. Now they turn their attention onto some of these other remaining players from X1. VVV trying to find that chase down. DRG's WX98 unfortunately left behind in the ruins of JL's rampage. The Zip ultimate is going to be forced. VVV with the zoning Phoenix burst, just keeping everybody in the Storm Corruption tick damage. FPX's Sansi is going to fall. 11 players left, but JL are on 15 kills and counting. They've got the better position. They're holding on to the low ground. They're going to get another kill onto X1 ZDI. The shockwave pops on off, hitting every single player left alive in this lobby. Raven, are we going to see the Thanos Snap? Because JL still have the buff.
17 kills right now. Going to JL. A minute 40 left. 10 million is going to be invested by TXJ. They're trying to secure this last kill. Everyone's down to their last sliver of health. SS trying desperately to buy some time for everyone to heal, but SS will fall. 5 people left alive. JL's looking to clean up the lobby. Slow and 7. They don't even need the Thanos stab. They just methodically have been picking off everyone left and right. FPX is going to get cleaned up. Now, Wolves NXQ is going to be cleaned up. Junk's trying to buy some time, trying to claim that second place for some placement points. But VVV is going to pop his ultimate. He does get punted into zone by the Kylan. VVV has to be careful. Junk's holding him in zone, and he is going to fall. Big mistake coming out from JL, and now OUG is going to be capitalized on this. Nice Dragon Slayer going to come out onto Fong, and the Kurumi is going to fall. We spoke too soon. JL not able to close this out. One person left alive. TXJ in a 1v3 or 1v2v1 situation. Can TXJ bring this back? The king is low health, but Shinyu does have the Zaya ult up. Junks is gonna fall. TXJ stuck in the edge of zone. Can't do much. Matari also gonna be coming down, and OUG is gonna steal it away with 13 kills at the last second. You see the smiles going up. We shouldn't have had that one. JL does drop the ball, even though they have 19 kills.
Oh, FPX with a little bit of revenge later on that Kylan. I was going to talk about it like when we were talking about the verticality and the fact that like the Zip, the Hardy, and the Kylan of that composition, the Zip is the last hero that you actually want to live, because Hardy and Kylan have so much pushback as well as survivability with the ultimates for that exact reason, right? When you play on that verticality, even when you play on the low ground, the knockback that's available, we were discussing it the other day with
Siphon. Now technically Zai can do it as well, but using your points earlier now means you might not be able to use it later.
Wolves and Alliance both going for the exact same drop location on Azos that we saw in the first game of Padoria. KLA also looking for that third party. NY7 though getting focused down by Wolves is going to fall. And Wolves, having dealt with the hyper carry, are going to split off before KLA get the opportunity to collapse onto them before they have load, as that side can be exceptionally squishy.
Alliance. Yuma already down to half health, but it is off spawn. He can make some space for his team. Unfortunately for himself, KLA, the swarm, the surround they get onto him. Wolves comes in with a third party though. Now KLA stuck in a tough position behind the... Actually, Wolves stuck in a tough position from KLA, surrounding Wolves as well, but the double charge is going to be coming out from XEM. He is going to get a kill onto QGG. And now 17S with the peel is going to take down XEM, and now CXZ will be cleaning it out, but Alliance showing up with revenge, getting the parry onto CXZ, pressed against the wall. Alliance's NY7 coming in with the flank as well, but Temi also going to be invested by CXZ. V1 on revenge is going to be keeping up for now. Can he keep himself up? The Kurumi ult is going to be invested by 17S. KLA is fighting back right now, but Alliance has the V1. Both of these teams with their support all taken away. The slugfest coming out right now. Who is gonna take it? Multiple teams over here. But KLA's CXZ, last one left standing. He's gonna be licking his wounds and looking to reset with his team.
Crucially, neither of the teams that picks up Moonbane are around here, as XEM is going to get juggled up into the air on the staircase, so Alliance will get a lovely extension off of that uppercut. Revenge dropping in with that Zip. F1 trying to keep his players alive, but that sustain on the back of the Kurumi armor circle is so much more tanky, especially when the F3 Tether gets added to the mix. Revenge gets the Hardy Cube set up to put himself onto the rooftops and try to break away. XEM has that 90% damage reduction to live through the pressure getting put onto him as the Kylan stepped up to the plate to distract the Zai before the V2 could start melting these health bars of the players of Alliance, but XTM now has been able to close up the distance, and with the last little moments of his ultimates, finds the connections onto Revenge, finds a parry onto Yuma to force out that glider from the Hardy. Yuma trying to break away, doesn't have the greatest weapon in the back pocket to scale rush. NY7 is going to be bearing the ire of Wolves instead to try and give Yuma a little bit of time to potentially kite Wolves, not away from his players, but into another team entirely. He knows that Wolves are down these key ultimates, and as a result, Wolves are going to be far less likely to go for the full commitment chase, unaware of the surroundings and what teams they could potentially be running into.
Yeah, and it's going to be come down to the wire. Looking at the scoreboards, 53 for Alliance at first place, 53.7, and all the way down to 8th place. It's only a 10 points difference. Like Wolves is at 41, ASC is at 45, less than 10 points spread. So anyone in the top 8 can still get to match point right now. Now, traditionally, we have seen 5 teams usually make it to match point by the end of a tournament. OUG is going to be finding ASC on the outside round. Looks like OUG wants to take an off-spawn fight before they're going to be going to that first round of Yang. Slam's going to be coming onto Moran, onto the zipping, or onto the Kurumi, and the King is going to pop his ultimate, shoving both of them out of the circle. Nice grapple kick's going to be coming out. ASC is going for a triple grapple uppercut for OUG, and the King sitting on the outside trying to press the Takeda out of this Kurumi ult, but the Temi ult is going to be invested right now. The King, only one shove left. His teammate's going to get parried, dropping his ultimate, but he does pick up the ultimate again. Back to purple ult. Zhao Wen down to his last little bit. He's going to slap the King in the face, and then Stagger is going to be coming out. The King has to pull this back for his teammates. ASC is turning this around. They were behind the 8 ball earlier, but now with the momentum, but King is going to deny it. Now we're down to a 2v2. The King is going to get parried now and taken down. 2v1 situation now. It's going back and forth. ASC now is going to clean this up. I spoke too soon. I thought ASC was going to fall, but OUG will drop the ball and get taken down by ASC.
Optimal slap gaming, staggering into Temi Wisp. As we head back to Azovs and see that Wolves have not gone any further. They're still in the area. This time, though, they are picking a fight against WBG, who are down 1 player at the moment, given the fact that someone stuck back to drop in that Moonbane. Wolves were not fully committed into the fight when it came through, so still had the ability to disengage. They sensed something was a little bit amiss when they only saw 2 players in that forward position. And it is going to be Jing with this Kylan and that V2 trying to collapse onto these players. Charged R&B on the staff, picking up the stagger setup by that Kylan dash through. But Jing, now out of that ultimate, is going to be low. He has to use all of his stamina and skill rush to back off of this fight so that his zip can try and provide enough time for him to reset or get that ultimate online. But Ajiao does go down to the V2 Fireburn, just absolutely nuking the effectiveness of that zip ultimate. That fire tick meant that all healing is cut by 50%. And as a result, the zip sustained it absolutely nothing. You saw when that zip ult procs, his half bar barely moved.
Yeah, Zai just eats zipping alive. We're going to get Alliance NY7 on the Kylan. These guys, blue fan, purple armor, setting up for that first Rumble Yang. ASC with the upset over OUG is going to be jumping onto GG. GG likes playing off spawn low key. They got 0 kills to their name. They should be really, really stacked, but ASC is going to get the drop on 330. He is going to get executed right now. Kruby also going to be invested, but it's a little bit too late. ASC with the drop onto CGS, and now can GG bring this back? Normally they have a really, really safe off spawn, but they get caught off guard right now. ASC with the momentum. They're going to pick apart GG right now. CGS on the Kylan trying to make something happen, but they can't do anything. Moran's going to close it out with the dagger. What is going on right now? ASC is popping off with 9 kills with Siphon. You rarely ever see this off spawn.
I told you ASC were the team to watch, and they were watching that map. Like, they understand where GG are going to drop, because everyone knows where GG drop. On Pedori, it's always Twilight Pass. So they understand, ooh, there's the red soldier. Keep that in the back pocket of knowledge, DRG. with the Zai, have the Volpine Essence and the Mortal Defiance that it provides. But going back to that point, everyone knows where GG spawn. So ASE are able to intercept GG's pathing and come through with that immediate Temi ultimate. And it's so smart, because it means that instead of the Kylan trying to force the Temi into ulting before the Kylan ultimate comes through, they just drop in with the Temi ultimate early and assassinate someone before GG are ready to expect and peel for it. And with one of the main damage dealers just absolutely melted, there's nothing that GG really have left to stand up to the amount of loot that ASE had been able to collect, given the fact that they'd burned through 6 players previously. Now you get your wish, by the way. Alliance are going into the realm of Yang. Unfortunately for you, they're not on the Viper Tessa Wuchang composition. They are going to be on the Kylan, Hardy, and Zipping composition, and we're going to be following along with Wolves with the Siphon. XEM not actually fully charged on the Rage currently. Might be a matter of concern. The F3 does come through. Now he's going to be 8% away because of the hit of damage. Matari ultimate will reset the F3 first before the ultimate can come on out. As you can see, the Dragon Slayers just trying to find that proc into the Nezhas. The Hardy Cube has been invested from the side of Alliance, so they do have those combo breakers online, as XEM is getting juggled absolutely everywhere by this Kylan. They're going to try and outlive the full duration of the Kylan ultimate by using this Kurumi armor circle, so that when the Kylan's ultimate runs out, XEM still has that damage burst potential that isn't available from the side of Alliance. They're going to now look to focus down NY7 since he doesn't have that Killing God immortality. The cube forced out from that Kylan means that both the Hardy and the Zip get left behind vulnerable. XEM trying to track down where he can send these chain scythe circles, looking to hit into that fire tick and start reducing the effectiveness of the zipping. But 50 seconds left. That Zaya ultimate is about to run out. Have Alliance found the kills? Have Wolves been able to find the kills needed? Revenge finally goes down with the last little bit of that Zaya ultimate, but it's still a 2 versus 2 Raven. Who sees it through?
Wow, the Kurumi F3 is going to be coming out onto Wolves. XEM. Nice F3 coming out from Kurumi, able to deny all of this damage. And now Hadi in a tough position. His teammate comes over to appeal, but he is going to get parried by the support player of Wolves. XEM down to his last little bit of Yoma. He's going to follow up, gets LMB down to a 1v1 for all the marbles, baby. Yoma. 10 seconds left. Someone has to commit something. He goes for the max range. He spins it around. Last hit situation. He is going to send the stone form, but Wolves XEM is going to clutch it with the parry. XEM coming in big. Someone had to go for it. XEM ready for it. Gets the parry and the big clutch of the day. Now going on the outside. Spirit Well. Looks like Bowda's you with the gold weapon, trying to claim up the Spirit Well with the Vermilions. Moxie, double greed.
Yeah, Bowda now coming on IU with that Kylan ultimate, looking to dash onto these players of X1. He's been able to keep clipping for so many of them before that ultimate has come out. Goes for the jump and parry, as it is going to be now looking to set up the charge vertical. First hit goes a little bit too low, utilizes that Hardy cube to reposition back to the loot that the Spirit Well had dropped, gets hit into by that Kylan combo break. And that's going to be a very fast removal of the Vermilion Bird Smite from the players of Bowda's, and they just have to deal with one last combo breaker, one last cube usage from Bowda's. Yuran, who has that full sword, is looking to just keep living, trying to kite X1 into the side of DRG, who are going to showcase jabbing on Dong Qing's staff, legendary staff, looking to set up onto these players of X1 late into the mix. But X1, having picked up that Spirit Well, have Draco Storm to their name, and DRG are potentially going to have to back off. However, X1, while they have this buff, more than happy to keep taking this fight. Kylan ultimate circles back yet again for DI, who was able to pick up all of those soul blooms, and he's just bopping them all out of the Kurumi ultimate. X1 are about to take out another team with that massive buff of the Vermilion Bird Smite. But Raven, here comes ASC for the third party.
Yeah, X1 with the Draco Storm just laying waste to everyone, but ASC, an absolute juggernaut off spawn, already up to 9 kills. They're not slowing down at all. Jumping onto DRG's Don Q. The Red Jade is going to be popped. 1,000 health is going to be regened, but he is going to get juggled. The focus fire of ASC making quick work of the Zai from DRG. Now moving up to the north, we got KLA versus FPX. Semi-ult's going to be invested. Takeda ult's going to be invested as well from QG. Alliance on the top rope, so waiting for these two teams to engage. No, they're not going to wait. 1 minute and 47. Time is ticking. They need their soul moves right now, but the no ult is going to be hit. Everyone's surprised by this. All of their ults getting cut off right now. Alliance on the outside, though, trying to keep both these teams stuck in the middle versus each other, but it looks like KLA is going to slow down, turn their attention to Alliance. Zipping is going to get shredded right now. He's going to use the cube from Hottie to back out. On the outside of the no ult zone, he's able to pop the V1, and now Alliance putting on the pressure onto KLA. They have to be careful though, Moxie. Gigi's coming in for the third party on the outside.
Here comes GG. Have Alliance spotted it? The Flamebreaker is definitely going to send a message to every single player in this lobby. Alliance now have to be very careful. They do not have access to any of their ultimates when they play inside the Forbidden Seal, but if they go outside of the Forbidden Seal, they go into the Corruption Tick damage, and that's exactly why GG showed up into this area. It's going to be JL also showing up into the mix with a Viper V1, cleaving out the space into a Wu-Chen teleport so that they can try and disengage OUG. GG, in the meantime, able to find a kill onto KLA's CXC as a huge double parry comes now. Both Shinyu and the King going to be losing their weapons, but unfortunately, JL's one thing just cannot stick around and just has to keep kiting with those dual halberds. Realm of Yang is up. I'm pretty sure any team that enters into the Realm of Yang right now, Raven, might well get it for free considering the amount of teams that showed up for that Forbidden Seal third-party fight.
There's another festival of third parties. Just, you think it's a third party, there's a fourth party, there's a fifth party. You just have the server all converging onto one no ult zone. You can see the no ult zone from across the map. It looks like THA is going to be able to pick up that rebirth charm to help res his teammates. So we're going to get Bauda versus ASE, the old guard versus the new guard versus the new team, new org on the block. You can get doubled off the opener, but he does have Cavalry Boom immediately setting up a little bit of peel. Gonna delay his F1, staggering the chunk of ASC. Now you looking for this drop down scale rush, looking for that Cavalry Boom flank. He's gonna get a nice flank onto the zipping. Now fading out, triple hold dodge out, looking for the zoom in again. He's gonna switch over to the gold staff right now, ready to ult. Having that gold rarity is going to increase his ult charge significantly. Ult's going to be popped. What can you do with it? Temi ult is going to be invested to slow him down. They're trying to crowd control you, but you can't stop you on the Kylan. He's looking to get some action in. The Hottie is going to respond to use ultimate right now. Takeda going for a ride. Does have a couple Takeda shoves left. You take so much damage though off that first slash. Takeda gonna shred up his back. He's gonna be able to cube out and possibly pop a heal right now. Zipping ult's gonna be invested by Peak, and we're going into phase 2. Moxie, still you against the ropes. He is going to fall, unfortunately. Man, I thought about it. Wait, no, he's not gonna fall. You isn't. They're gonna clutch it up. It looked like you was about to get taken down, and suddenly the rest of the team just fell over.
Yeah, Battle were able to win. Wolves also won their Realm of Yang, although I think they might have gotten theirs for free, given how quickly they got their hands on that Draco Storm of winning. We'll have to wait and see when the teams... yeah, Battle went for Mystic Might. I mean, I think with this one, they've seen, like, you saw what happened with that Forbidden Seal fight. There were so many teams that showed up for the third party. Having that awareness, that heads up play of, hey, there are other teams coming, it's time to move, is one of the things that separates like good teams from great teams. Right? You and I, like, we were looking from POVs of teams when they won MVPs yesterday. And one of the things that was just absolutely stellar from the teams when they did MVP was just understanding when to cut their losses when a fight is not quite going to be enough reward for risk.
I agree. When it's not profitable, it's definitely not worth. Wolves with the Draco Storm, though, very, very hard to lose with Draco Storm, especially when you're Zai and Karumi and Matari. Just so much healing potential right now. So much offensive potential. Jing's going to be taking a lot of damage on the Kylan. He's going to use his slashes to create some space, but time is ticking. He has to be careful right now. He is going to get a Mustang shot by LYD, yoinking the kill from long range. Definitely daring to steal a kill away from a Draco Storm team. They can turn over and all in you next, but it doesn't look like X1 wants to go crazy right there. X1 also has Mystic Might. I believe they delayed the Spirit Well buff in order to get Mystic Might, but a minute or 160 seconds left on that Mystic Might. They are going to be able to hunt down solos and duos. It's one of the big advantages of that Mystic Might. It gives you ESP, it applies that 20% damage reduction, but your ability to find these teams trying to res, as we're seeing WBG Sleepwalker going in the zone, getting one of his teammates up, not able to get the second, but because this early shadow corruption is so little, it's one of the safest places to find these reses, and probably why X1 and Bauda are going for this Mystic Might to find these couple players looking for reses.
Speaking about safety, I'm pretty sure DRG haven't gone into a round with Yang, which means they still have Vulpine Essence on their side. That is yet to proc. That could potentially be the difference maker between themselves able to be the last team standing and getting kill score multiplier, and another team managing to get last team standing, as it is unfortunately going to be WBG getting spotted out. This is Walker with that Yang depletion, going to get hunted down by X1. ASE in the meantime have been able to find OUG. You see Xiaowen losing all of his armor, having to burn through that Takeda ultimate as well as the Temi ultimate now invested, but he's just going to get absolutely ripped through by OUG's the King. GG also in the area potentially looking for that third party. They do have the Kylan Hardy and the King, and they're going to have seen the Temi ultimate has been invested, which is normally the line that the Kylan team has to force out from the Temi before they can take the engagements, especially in the 3 versus 3 realm of Yang. ASE and OUG both backing on off, having spotted that potential third party coming through from Alliance in the meantime. GG going to be playing Gatekeeper as well, to where the Storm is pushing all of these players, forcing their hands into rotating. GG move over, hit the Forbidden Seal, and Alliance have absolutely no access to the ultimates. If they want to use them, they have to go directly into GG, who are going to be sitting there at the gate with the Flamer. Alliance getting themselves out of the Forbidden Seal, managed to set the Hardy ultimate up to use the cube to get everybody to rotate away. But there are so many teams in this area, Raven. No one has Yang depletion, but so many ultimates have been forced from these teams. Are they going to fix the fight regardless?
That's pretty hard to track with an also going down and so many Kylan ults going back and forth. We have the Tesla ults going off. Alliance trying to come through. NY7 tries to save Revenge on the zipping. He's unable to get there in time. Revenge will fall. Now NY7 going back in, trying to create some space, seeing if they can possibly res Revenge, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to. Too many teams are waiting right here. F3 is going to be invested by the Zai. Don Q on DRG with the Zai running around. NY7 has to be careful right now. He's going to get a grapple check and realize he is down to that half health. Even though he has purple armor and a purple weapon, he's not going to be able to use it without their support. He's not going to be able to get a heal off right now. Yoma is going to pop the cube. Great play from Yoma to create the space for his teammate to get out of there, use that cube. Unfortunately for NY7, he is going to get vibe check, and they see his health. They're not going to let him out, and Wolves ZK is going to secure the kill. Moving on, 7 minutes 40 seconds. The solos and duos are getting picked off. Wolves up to a massive 14 kills. X1 up to 9. And just behind both of them, DRG and Baldo at 6.
Oh no. Alliance's humor was found out by JL. Their third kill of the game coming on through is a GG, with the Dreadful Whale going to be putting themselves forward into controlling this Spirit while CJS with the Flamer as well. They've got so little loot because of the fact that they got grouped by ASE on those drop locations and lost absolutely everything they'd been slow burn building up into. They had to make a play for that Spirit while they were able to get their hands onto a couple of upgrades, and crucially as well, they didn't have to trade one of their players for it. Remember, there is only one Viper test from Wuchang composition in this lobby. It's still alive. They've got all 3 of their players currently intact. But my goodness, JL have their work absolutely cut out for them because they have to play so quiet and so out of notice. The second any of these teams, especially the Kyle and Hardy and Zipping teams, realize that there's still a Viper and Tessa in play, they're going to all in onto that team because that is the direct counter.
Yeah. I mean, JL, they have a lot of trees to work with. This is an ideal endgame for this Viper composition. Anytime you have trees and high verticality, Wuchens will be able to place that port up very high. They're able to do drop downs and slingshot plays with the grapple to find that nice V1 potential. Now, if you're another team, you see the Viper in the distance. The one thing going for them, even though they're not able to wardrobe change, it's very surprising for the teams to spot out a Viper, considering there's only one team on the map. That gives them the nice element of surprise. Looking over at GG, they're only up to 3 kills, but I have seen countless times where GG gets to this endgame with 3 kills and they walk away with 14 plus. It's just they always play these situations nice and slow. They don't get really antsy. They just play nice, solid fundamentals for these endgames, and they don't even really crutch on necessarily using the Thanos snap. They've never needed it in the past. Just really, really good macro where they get good Jades and they play on the back of someone getting the opener over and over. We'll have to see if GG can pull it off. Haven't had the best tournament so far. They're keeping up on pace, but normally we see a lot more dominance out of them. On the flip side, Wolves has woken up and they're up to 14 kills. If they manage to steal this game away and get a first place, they are going to skyrocket to the top.
Speaking about Snap, it's not actually the Snap. It is going to be Mystic Mike coming on through. We potentially have a drag as well because that was a nunchuck meter dump coming out, but we didn't get to see the bars and whether they would just replenish automatically, so we'll have to wait and see, as it is going to be GG and Wolves both setting up the barbecue, and unfortunately one team gets caught directly in the middle. Bowder had moved into position to try and get themselves into place of that Spirit Well before absolutely anybody else could, and they just lined themselves up to get hit onto by the 2 teams. Wolves still in the area, going to be exchanging fire with CJS, as Bowder also not allowing anyone to hold this onto for free. So far, no ultimates have been invested, as none of these teams have the confidence in feeling that they're going to be able to hold their ground. It's just been a little bit of footsie under the table. A couple of hits of the Dreadful Whale, a couple of Zai F3, some meter dumps. This is the first ultimate that we're going to see, and it is going to be the Karimi ultimate, so that Wolves can hold that position, pick that Matari up, and use that cleanse ability on the V2 to stop the Flamer from murdering every single one of them when they try and double up. The rest time is JL don't double time, but pause time. A huge Viper V1 comes on out, but unfortunately for JL, they're not the ones with the follow-up.
Now, X1 is going to be claiming this Spirit Well, while the Mayhem is going down. GG again forced off of this Spirit Well, but X1 taking the opportunity. XLY on the Kylan, going to be popping an ultimate, knocking everyone away, creating that space for his team. Zipping all is going to be invested, allowing ZDI to keep those slashes going on over and over, but the lobby, no more dome is there. He's going to be set set on fire by all the flame breaths. ZDI has to be careful right now. His health is really low from the slashes, and it looks like Wolves ZK is going to pick up that flame breath kill. Wolves on the outside right now looking to steal this way up to 15 kills. Going slow and steady. They do have the Zai ultimate. They don't want to overcommit and get lobbied by the rest of them. X1's going to be forced down their Kylan, and it looks like Wolves is going to make that move right here, but OUD is going to be coming in for the challenge. Same thing with JL on the outside. They're going to find the stragglers of GG, but the lobby has to worry about Wolves right now. They're up to 15 kills. Ziold's going to be invested. If they get this ultimate, everyone has to worry about them snowballing out of control. It's not the Thanos snap, but it's not going to matter if they're able to pop back-to-back ultimate. It looks like the lobby is going to be coming and contesting. The zone is closing in. The spirit wall will not be capped still, and Wolves is going to be backing up as OUG comes down in. The King going to be popping that Takeda. Temiel's going to be invested. They aren't going to be claiming that spirit wall, though. They're going in to claim the kills, and Wolves will fall. Slight misstep from coming out from them, up to 15 kills, and OUG again is making a play to secure this game, Moxie.
OUG are the only team with the Temi. There's no other Temi to overlap the ultimate when Jinyu runs it down. Now they've still got SS with that Kurumi on the circle as well as jabbing on the King. He's got the F3 Teva to hold his ground and contest. The other team's still trying to make a play for the Spirit World. Wolves back in the mix. ZK managed to find the Teva connect, revive onto the Matari yet again. XCM goes to the edge, come through with the charge vertical on that pulse. Who is going to be able to take the Spirit World? Because here comes JL yet again. As we've talked about, all of these players putting themselves into the zone to try to LOS break the Viper V1, but TXJ spots it out, double jumps, and manages to get his hitbox over the rock instead, so it still finds the concuss. JL had sacrificed their Wu Chen though. They don't have the teleport. They've revealed the Viper is still in play, and Wolves, ZK makes a massive play, goes into the Corruption 6 damage to capture the Spirit Well, has the Teva to bring back his Matari, and his eye had the ultimate back because he picked up the Spirit Well, and Wolves' armor is refreshed entirely. Wolves on 15 kills with Mystic Might and damage reduction could potentially win the heal-off situation, especially off of the back of that jump parry coming on through, but there are so many players left alive in this lobby of Viper V1 comes Sniper. TXJ will not be able to live the duration to see the stagger as Bowder make a last final play. You with the Kylan V2 activates the ultimate, gets the Keeling God, gets the immediate infinite HP. He will not go down, and he wins the heal off and secures the last team standing, but not the overall MVP. That honor goes to Wolves, and I really hope that ZK gets his desserts. Give this man, give this Kurumi the MVP. He is the reason that Matari got brought back so many times.
Yeah,
I would always contest them. That's what I was talking about like a little bit at the earliest start of this broadcast. Bida would always land Imperial to drop onto GG because they knew what GG would be. They'd stopped doing that as of late, but I think now that they know how close they are, they want to go for a team where they're going to have that understanding of where they are immediately. As it is going to be WBG putting themselves atop that ballista, spawning up on the right side, gets them a little bit closer in before some of these other teams. QGG gets caught out by the Temi with, doesn't have any of the armor. WBG not able to close up the distance and find the kill as QGG just going to slide down to cliffside. ASE takes advantage though of these players giving up that spacing, puts himself onto the ballista instead, and gives chase. All of these teams trying to grief out the known locations of all of the teams close to the top points, because OUG have been the ones landing Salvation Podium in the past, and they've been the ones that have paid the cost for being predictable by the likes of KLA and Wolves griefing their games on Holoroth every single time as a result.
True, Moxie. We just saw like a Congo line again. FPX coming in with a third party. ASC now going with the cleanup onto WBG. Jing, he is going to be falling now. Axio in a 1v3 situation, trying to find his way back, but they isn't going to do it. FPX, like I was saying, was part of the Congo lines, observing everyone committing. Tough part of doing this timing attack. If the other team finds a kill, you are in all disadvantage. You're seeing ASC take advantage of the fact they have ultimates of how the ults can be invested, and with the gold focus, it's really, really hard to fight another team when they have ultimates. Now to the north, Moxie, you got your favorite matchup, Bauda versus GG.
Yeah, with a timing attack planned out from DRG, I can see them on the sidelines. GG are able to find the kill, but here comes DRG with that Tesla composition. It is going to be the Tesla enchantment catching on to CJS, who does not manage to interact with the soul urn in time. Volder ultimate comes on through, catching on to CJS, as the Temi ultimate from GG was able to stop the impact from the third party for the most part. CBS is able to find the parry into the drop vertical to find the kill onto Dongjing. And GG not only able to see off the opponents of Bauda, but also able to dispatch the timing attack planned out from DRG, as we're going to see ASE and KLA going head to head inside the Forbidden Seal. No ultimates going to be up for either of those teams.
No ultimate zone is going to be activated. ASC going for the cleanup on the KLA. All their armor stripped for them, but nice job from GGG on the Viper, catching 3 neutral reads onto Jang Dong. ASC now under a ton of pressure from KLA on the back of QGG. Nice tech reads over back to back to back, hitting him with the 3-piece. Where are you going? There'll be no dodging in front of QGG. He has the gold dual halbies, doing massive work and damage with those gold dual halbies. Now JL switching over from Viper onto the Zai compositions, still maintaining their points. Zai, one of the best budget compositions going into this first realm of Yang. And if there's one team that has the counter to every single comp, it is JL. Back to the no ult zone. We're going to get a Moon Bane from Alliance onto KLA. Alliance an absolute menace right now. And NY7 does have purple armor right now, but KLA doing a good job of covering each other while they move. 17S leading the back on the Wu Chen, and it looks like they're going to live to fight another day. Good job from KLA. A little bit poor execution from Alliance, but they still have a lot to work with. They're still very competitive at that 60-point threshold. Just need 10 points to get the match point.
Speaking about thresholds, Bauda unfortunately lost all of their revives. They've had to burn all of them. You got spotted late, and we're still waiting to see where they decide to revive. JL going to be playing it a little bit slow. They know that all of those teams for those drop locations are looking to try and figure out the top 4 teams and grief the landing. They did not want to find themselves getting third and fourth partied by everybody. So they are prioritizing picking up the coins so that they can go to the shop. And as we've talked about with the Siphon, budget composition. You get 1 set of purple armor, you get 1 set of purple weapons, you give it to your Zai, you're good to go, you're good to power scale into that first realm of Yang, as opposed to some of those other teams, which might have been able to find purple armor and loot. Extremely rare in Immortal War, you can only pick them up from legendary skill troves. However, if they died by taking a fight and getting third-partied, they lose all of that loot that they've been able to pick up. So JL very much keeping their destiny in their own hands, as opposed to passing it around to the lobby to play pass the parcel with. Bauda, unfortunately, having lost that first fight, understanding that they have 0 kills to their name, that they're in a really rough position. They might have their ultimates, but they don't have the equipment to actually have any threat to them. As Tianhai needs the equipment to scale the health and damage that he does, as too does Feria. And then the problem with Volder is that once you hit one of those players in that CC, it immediately breaks. It's not a timed duration like Temi. It is 1 hit and you're done. And it isn't just the Valdes team that can contribute to that hit. It's anyone in this lobby. Ideally, they wanted to win that first fight onto GG, get access to all of the loot pathing around Imperial and Waterfall, and then scale up into the first realm of Yang, where they can all in with their ultimates without worrying about being third party. None of that has happened though, Raven. So they're having to play on the back foot, incredibly far behind where they actually want to be currently.
Now, speaking of back foot, WBG forced on the back foot due to KLA, but the F3 is going to be invested onto the Takeda. Sleepwalker armor is going to be stripped for him. He has to be careful right now. They're looking for the stagger onto him. He's forced to pop the Takeda ult. Tesla ult's going to be coming out. Sleepwalker's able to dodge him now. 2 shoves out. QGG on the Viper going to be pressured right now. Kurumi ult's going to be invested. Temi ult's going to be invested. Everything's going to be thrown at him and the kitchen sink, but QGG still has... No, wait. I think 17 still has Wuchen port down. Everything's going to be invested onto the Takeda. Takeda's looking for the parry, not able to get it. It's going to get Tesla ulted, and now QGG keeping up the pressure, trying to knock the Takeda out of the Kurumi circle. Is not able to get it, but his teammate is going to get a big parry, and QGG on the Viper going to drop a heal, play it nice and easy, just stabilizing, kiting it out, dropping in, crouch cancel twice, 1 hold 2 is going to get the deep fry on the Sleepwalker, finally makes his move. Well, we are going to trade kills though, 2v2 situation, still very tense. KL's ace, 17S, gonna get fried by the focus tech. QGG now getting sauced up by the Kurumi. Kurumi accidentally armor be not able to get it. Gonna be releasing a focus tech, but the Wuchen port is gonna come out. Unfortunately, CXZ is not gonna be able to get res, but he does have a second life, and it looks like QGG gonna poke his head out, debate on going for another kill, but his teammate is gonna drag him back, and they're gonna start playing for res. Unfortunately, they did show their face. WBG can go on the hunt right now and predict where they went. Early zone though, not that much corruption difference. Crazy play coming out from the two teams, but now going to Rumble Yang, we're gonna get FPX versus GG, 2 of the old guards. Moxie, who do you have taking it?
I mean, GG definitely have the loot scaled up. They've been playing it a little bit slow. CJS with the charge vertical on that fan gets the Kurumi tether, but FPX having that mirror also do the same. Both of these Takedas acting as the tank. Both of these teams trying to go for the double up 2 versus 2, looking to find an isolated fight. Sammy ultimate is going to be invested. GG also with that Takeda ultimate. CGS are going to have to burn a lot of his Furin shoves, peeling for his plays, getting stuck inside that Temi wind wall. Now goes for the crouch cancel out of the charged LMB hold, and Jiao unfortunately gets caught a little bit behind in the read for it. GG, because of this, get a little bit more presence in the front line neutral, but that's turned around by a huge Dragon Slayer's conversion into Nessa's turned onto GG. CGS throws out the charged RMB on the fan directly into Jones F1. Both of these Takedas going for the slaps in anticipation of that F ability coming back online. Now turning on to FPX as CJS was able to keep the Takeda occupied so that GG could turn on to the left behind players who didn't have that Takeda to fall into position and carve out a safe space for them. Walk away with the free kills and all of the loot to power spike up that Takeda V3.
Yeah, crazy stuff coming out from GG, but isn't that crazy? GG on the Siphon, on Holoroth, tried and true. They're super consistent. They're the most consistent team in NBPL. They're going to be fighting OUG with the red buff. Nice. Kylan versus Siphon. What do you got for us? KLA or OUG? Hadio is going to be invested. SS is going to lead the charge onto LXM. Temi is going to be invested. The King trying to lock down the Temi. The wave rolls coming out over and over. Hadi's finding a way to connect. Perry's going to come out on to LXM or onto 330 on the Kurumi with CGS on the Takeda with eyes in the back of his head. Is going to come over to peel for his Kurumi. Now that his Kurumi is saved, back to the pressure. Still has 2 shots in his name, but OUG is going to be backing off right now, trying to ice off some of this pressure. CGS looking to set it up, but the Kylan ult's going to lift him. Now finding the Kylan, he is going to get the first slash in, has 1 more slash to his name, gets a stagger, gets the proc out of Shinyu. Kurumi also going to be invested for GG to keep their health nice and high. Shinyu, no armor to his name, no health to his name. He is going to fall, and now SS, same fate for him, pressed in the corner, staggered to death. Nice job picking up all the kills, but over here, to the south. FPX versus Wolves. 3 minutes left on the Yang depletion. Can Wolves find the cure, Moxie?
Both of these teams needing to keep fighting to cure that Yang depletion. FPX is doing with that Cicada Fury Shoves looking to knock these players into Sanzi's ultimate. Both of these Kurumis already expended the V2, but Jun able to find a huge back-to-back Dragon Slayer's Nes's conversion to absolutely cleave down the players of Wolves. Goes for an early hit of the LMB on that spear, looking to interrupt and zone the Kurumi of XEM away from his teammates. And FPX will be able to, with the better spacing, win things out in the end. GG now, 54 seconds left on that Vermilion Birds. Might going to be taking a fight into the corruption tick damage against ASE. Jiangdong out of that Kylan ultimate is going to be incredibly vulnerable. Fourth break to the charge, RMB on the halberd coming through before GG have the Vermilion Birds might script. LXM on the Temi is going to commit the ultimate. Can he manage to find the turnaround? Wait, is he going to die before Vermilion Birds might pops? He's got to just stand still in the hopes that the Hardy kills him, but ASE have spotted that he's trying to just go for the kill. GG forced to go for the run back to try and bail that player out. This is so risky from this team.
Yeah, sitting in the zone for this long, especially as corruption's going to be going out. Zhao Wen is doing a perfect job of putting them in a tough position. Now, if you commit to him and he gets out, he can hard hold you inside zone where the zone ends up finishing you off. But nice Mox's shot coming out from CJS. Zhao Wen, though, now being chased by GG. Where can he go? He only got some mini heals left. Not able to even pop one heal, or else GG's gonna fry him out of midair. What a horror story, looking back and seeing 3 grapples from GG as you're running away with only 3 grapples yourself. Little bit of mini heals, but it looks like Zhao Wen has a max grapple distance. Doesn't look like GG has that max grapple distance, and because of that, Zhao Wen can potentially break some ankles here, but unfortunately for him, Kurumi's gonna pass an inside building, check out all the nooks and crannies. He's still trying to make his way to dodge all 4 of these chasing players, but he will be able to get out.
Wait, GL got that 7th kill. They're on match point eligibility, 70.7.
AL makes it across. Bauda is about to make it across, and soon GG's gonna make it across.
If they can get these kills, they are so incredibly close, especially with 14. Bauda, unfortunately, you might have cast a curse, Raven. Under pressure from FPX, Sanzi with their cavalry bloom, forcing Yuran's hand. He has to hop into the mech provided to him by Peak, since that Tianhai ultimate was not available. Zone is going to make it even harder. We said that this team did not want to run into a Temi team. Unfortunately for them, that's exactly what FPX are rocking. The Farrier V3 is out, but Yuran has been able to build up enough rage to generate the V2 for the Tianhai. Gets the grab onto Sanzi, holds him in position. So the slip to the repeater crossbow is going to get Sanzi down low. Doesn't manage to find the reverb. Has to utilize one of those jumps to keep himself mobile and out of that corruption tick damage. But remember, do not have a support. Yuran gets his sustain in the form of grabs on the V2, but he's only been able to find one. Has to drop out of the ultimate. Does manage to save the F1, but he's being full focused down by FPX. The F1 finally called in. The Valda ultimate coming through late to try to peel for his Tianhai and cover, forcing FPX to turn onto you instead, giving that opportunity for the monk to try to move himself into a position of recovery, as you with that pole sword does come through, throws the commitment into that Cicada F1. Jun flashing the red. Yuran versus Jun. Yuran finds the parry on the spear, setting up the full hit of the chopped RMB pole sword to come out from the Valda, and off of the back of it, better confirms match point eligibility. Can GG join them? They're going to be up against JL Raven. If they want to do so, they have to win this Realm of Yang.
Yeah, this is a battle of the juggernauts right now. Kurumi also going to be invested by GG. CGS does have FP from Kurumi coming out, but Hong and TXJ gonna get a big parry on to the Kurumi of 3-3-0. Focus Light's gonna be coming out, chasing down this Kurumi, gonna get a nice slide in 3-3-0, going for a ride right now. Nice follow-up from the Zai of VVV, 3-3-0 down to his last sliver of health, but he does get the F3 up. Now, tough break for JL. They need to find the kill right now, but 3-3-0 is gonna get a parry, turning this around now. Fong is really, really low, really close for both teams. BBB is going to get parried, but he's going to get light attacked out. TXJ coming in with the peel. Everyone's really low right now, but CGS needs to make a play right here to finish it off for his teammate, but he's going to get juggled. Oh my goodness, just 100-0 out of nowhere. JL is able to convert right now, but 3-3-0 has the F3 onto the Temi. Gold frame going to be coming out. Gold combo break going to be invested, but TXJ on the Matari, able to get the dash, is able to get that second ult off, and now Kurumi F3 is going to be coming out. 28 seconds left. TXJ is going to get a parry onto 3-3-0. They're not going to get the follow-up this time, and GG will fall to JL.
Denied the kills, and unfortunately for GG, much more importantly, afflicted with Yang depletion. Their hand is going to be forced. They have to take a fight and win it and live. Because it's not just 3 kills they need, it's a couple more to be able to cross that 70-point threshold. Actually, no, they should be okay if they get 2 more kills, I believe, with 68.4, given the fact that they've been able to pick up 15 kills. GG! They knew that they had one job to do, and that was get incredibly aggressive. This is a team that normally slow burns and comes into Final Zone with 3 kills. They have mixed things up massively, Raven. They knew exactly what they needed to do to get to MVP eligibility. They don't care about being the last team standing. They just need enough kills to qualify into that window. Bowder, not quite sure if they've been able to push through that 70-point threshold. They'll be playing it a little bit slower, as well as waiting for some of those Spirit Wells to come on through. So we're going to look and see where GG is thinking about trying to use a Soul Altar revive rotation into. JL with the Mystic Might going to be on full patrol. They've got 74.2 points, but unfortunately for all of those teams that have been able to cross the 70-point mark, none of them were MVP eligible this game. It doesn't matter if they MVP this game, it's the game after it. Fortunately for them, though, all of them have access to so many of their hero points that they're going to have their pick of the mix when it comes to the composition they want to try and MVP with in this next round. Still have been able to spot out OUG. Potentially we see GG show up for the third party. It's going to be that early hardy ultimate from OUG to set up the cube if their players need that combo breaker disengagement opportunity. As VVV with the Kurumi Tower expended is going to be looking for that first hit of engagement with the Zai F3.
OUG, Shinyu, gonna be forced to pop that Kylan ultimate. Create some space by JL. Gonna be hot on their heels. TXJ with Matari gonna be getting juggled right now. Doesn't have a gold combo break to get out of this situation, but Shinyu gonna be running out of his ultimate soon. The F1's gonna pick him up. He is still down to one last focus hit. He has to be careful. TXJ is hot on his heels on the Viper. F3 gonna be invested onto TXJ from his crew. Shinyu doing a good job of porting back in the zone, hugging the left side, but TXJ hot on his heels, not going to let him out. Nice stagger coming out from Shinyu. F going to be invested, but TXJ keeping up the pressure, looking for the focus slide into crouching LMB. No need though. JL's VVV is going to get the parry, and OUG's Shinyu will fall. Will SS make a play for a res here? He does have a little bit of shadow corruption to work with. Pretty risky though, and we're down to 16, Moxie. Only 16 players left. Everyone swinging for the moon here. Now, even though me and Moxie have been talking about 70 points being the threshold for having a match point, it is still really hard to get to match point and then win when you get it. So technically you should just be playing for maximum points, because if no one wins the MVP round above 70 points, it will just go kind of like to time, but by overall score in the end. And we've seen that happen in both solos. I don't think we've seen that in trios so far, have we?
No. But speaking about score, GG are so achingly close. They are 0.64, or rather 0.6 away from walking away with that 70-point threshold crossed. OG are going to be able to pick up a Rebirth Charm, and Y7 unfortunately is going to go down to Zone Corruption damage. This is huge for GG! They've spotted Alliance's rotation. The Matari ultimate is not going to bail out Yuma, and it is GG who walk away with the kill. They are confirmed onto match point eligibility. The question now becomes, can OUG, having just used a Rebirth Charm and being down a lot of their resources, can they find the kills necessary to qualify themselves onto match point eligibility, or is it going to be a head-to-head between JL, Bauda, and GG when we head into game number 6?
And look at this, we have 4 different comps going in the last little bit. The 4 teams for match point. We got the Monk Barrier Valda variation. We got Siphon going on. We got normal Sand Siphon, and we got the new Hottie composition. 4 different comps going into this last leg for the bi-weekly final 3 trios game 5. You're just tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Match point has been achieved for 3 teams. OUG's fighting for that match point. But remember, match point not going to matter if no one is able to win these next 3 games. In the past, we've seen other teams come back and bring it back. Or will we get an ending right now? JL is going to be setting up. Oh my goodness, look at these Jades. Good googly.
Why do we have a Aurora burst?
We got the
problem for OUG as well is that they couldn't even try and third party like swap to ranged weapons and steal some of the kills because Spirit Well prevents projectile damage from players outside. They can't show up to any fights because they're immediately going to be spotted out. Every other team who is left in this lobby has either legendary or purple armor. OUG still have 2 blues. Potentially they can make it over to where that Spirit Well has been picked up and grab some of the scraps that have since been left behind, but it's still going to be very problematic for them to not immediately give away the disparity between themselves and the rest of the lobby. As they do rotate over to that Spirit Well, they do look to see if anything has been left behind for them to get their hands on too. Bauda also going to be in a position to try and turn onto them, but unfortunately for OG, as I said, going for that Spirit Well, trying to find any loot that had been left, gave away the disparity between themselves and all of the rest of the teams in the lobby, and now everyone is showing up to try and find these kills onto them. They have absolutely no opportunity to try and find a third party because no one else is fighting each other. Jinyu is going to try and make it out. The Moonbane might create a little bit of a barrier between themselves and the rest of these teams in the lobby, but Jinyu is having to take his chances. The dual halberd comes out. He puts himself directly into the middle of Moonbane alongside SS, as unfortunately the king just burns down. He was there and gone before he could even utilize that zip ultimate to try and keep OUG up.
11 people left. Used to be even 4. I was wondering how they were going to play this out. Is any team going to commit? Because there is for sure mutual destruction. The second you commit onto one team, the other team's going to see you. There's only 4 teams left and a third party you. Now GG in a wonderful position. They need to get this 1.2 multiplier and really lock in for this. Now they are on one of their best maps. JL though, keeping that first place. 12 points ahead. Can they maintain this lead? And Bauda on the Monk Barrier Valda. I feel like this composition can really secure the last Spirit Well. Like, what do you do when a double Transformer ult and there's a Zai there?
They can also win heal off too, because they have so many reset potentials. Farrier 2 gets like an inadvertent buff. Like both Farrier and Tian Hai get a buff from the fact that Spirit Well projectile damage is blocked. Unfortunately though, Bauda are going to have to contest all of these teams in the area who have gotten their hands on Flamers, and that is going to go directly to that player in the V3's health bar, as opposed to slowly chunking down the mech health and then the player inside of it. As we're going to see JL with that Karumi tether having the confidence to hit the fire tick clock as many times as they possibly can onto Euron. They are not going to give Bauda the potential of coming through and grabbing this Mystic Might. Euron now out of that Farrier V3 is going to go for the Tian Hai. Look to find and secure some of these grabs. He can still throw hands, and every single player in the lobby is going to absolutely scatter. Bauda, like you said, how can you contest this composition when they have that position? positioning for Spirit Well? You can't. OUG's SS makes a little bit of a cheeky move towards the Firefly cage to build that ultimate. He's going to be contested, though, very quickly by GG, who spotted him out, swapping over to the ranged weapons to start to shred some of the health. Have these teams spotted that OUG are down that support? They know the Hardy, they know the Kylan, they know that this is normally backed up by a Zip. Unfortunately for them, there's no other teams running a Zip in the lobby. There is no potential for OUG to pretend that they still have one of their players up, and it's putting a weakness on them that every single team in this lobby could potentially take advantage of. And it is going to be JL's VVV with that Aurora Burst, just trying to hold onto the space as much as they possibly can. They've got Cloudweaver online as well as Uran in that more aggressive position, Trots trying to push ahead and occupy the players from JL so that his other players behind him can start to swap over to the ranged weaponry and build some of those ultimates back online. We can see the Farrier V3 mech is already dropped and in position to get hopped into for Bowder to recover one of their players. They're going to have to take it now before the zone collapses away from it. And here we go. That Farrier V3 putting the pressure onto JL should ignite the spark that sets the rest of this lobby ablaze.
Yeah, nice job sharing that Farrier mech to try to pressure some of the ultimates out of JL. JL going to be going with the tried and true, leading with their support ultimate first. They still have BBB's ult, they still have TXJ's ult. Unfortunately, this end game is definitely going to be benefiting Siphon and the Monk composition. There's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to line of sight. We got two trees for some grapple jumping up back and forth, but not much. But BBB's going to come with a perfect Aurora Burst from the flank. We're just going to peel him off. TXJ and crew looking for somewhere safe, but what is safe when we got Uran on the Monk? The Valda Spear is going to come out. He's looking for the double grab right now. BBB mashing desperately to get out of there. It's going to be able to get the setup. TXJ dodging, weaving, getting away from Balda's Uran. Uran's going to be flying in with the slam, looking for the grab. Umbrella's going to be coming down from his teammate. Now, double grab is coming out from Uran, getting TXJ and that kill. Unfortunate for JL. They're going to be getting picked off by Bowda. Now Bowda in a prime position to take the lead, but everyone's going to be activating right now. GG coming plowing through. They're up to 17 kills. They've been biding their time. I forgot they're in a lobby. They come out with a Takeda and Temi ultimate, still Krumi ultimate to their name. Where's OUG right now? They need to find a position into here as well. 3-2-0, letting his health go really low.
They've only got that Kylan. That Kylan is going to have to play to win the heal off with that V2. The question is, have the rest of these teams in the lobby spotted it? It's the only play that OUG can make to get from 67.3 points over that match point threshold necessary to be an MVP candidate. And you can see that Jinyu is fully focused on just living for that zone collapse. He's up in the sky. He's got the infinite grapples. He's got that one tree that he can keep himself up into the air away from the low ground, because GG are running an absolute rampage with the Wild Wind Spat. We said that this would qualify and really impact for Sand Siphon. You still got the Kylan ultimate. Here comes the V2. Ginny with the killing guard, trying to win the heal off situation. Did he manage to get the kills necessary? He finds a kill onto Bowder's Peak. Has that qualified OUG? He gets another onto JL's TXJ. I don't know if it's enough, because that was 68.8 that OUG ended up on Raven. We will have to wait and see if those last two kills, and we can just hear the confirmation it was enough. OUG's Jinyu puts his team on the back of his shoulders, and with that Kylan V2 and the 2 kills he's able to pick up, makes them across the 70-point threshold. And Raven, we've got 4 teams that can...
We'll have to see how this off spawn goes off. Getting that 3 to 6 kills off spawn really sets you up for that first Rumble Yang, and we're gonna go to Sunwing first. FPX and Bowda up here to the north. Uran's gonna be popping that F3. Nice double hit coming off. Uran has a big advantage set up for his team. Junks down to half health, is going to get a Dragon Slayer with his teammate Shan Yu. Uran trying to find the flank play. 1, 2, 3 going to be set out. F going to be invested from the Hottie, but now your round's going for a round. Both of his teammates are going to fall, and Bauda is going to get picked apart from FPX. Unfortunate for them not getting that off-spawn momentum going.
Yeah, that is not the start that Bauda wanted. GG and OUG now going head-to-head. One of these teams is going to be losing those revives early on. CJS activates that Takeda F1. OUG's SS has fallen low. They're turning on to the Zai. The Kurumi Teva has been burned. SS did not tap it early, so he is still going to have the 90% damage reduction when GG try to close the distance and find the hit onto the Kurumi. Very smart stuff coming on through from OUG. They just have to deal with GG's LXM. One hit off the vertical from that staff will be able to take out him. And we head over towards Artisans, which is where JL have prioritized landing, trying to get their hands on all of the breakable boxes in the warehouses to buy the coins for that early Moonbane. They instead find themselves the kills though, and they're not going to be miffed about that one, although VVV does hit one hit of that Moonbane. Will just immediately reposition so that his team can clean up. JL not taking any chances in potentially giving themselves a vulnerability for these teams looking to third party to take advantage of his ASE moving into that area drawn in by that Moonbane on the map, knowing that teams are fighting in this position. JL very quickly on the move before they can get locked down.
JL is already up to 3 kills. That's how you want to start. But OUG as well with 3 kills. The name of the game is slow and steady. Wait for your opponents to make a critical mistake. Now GG, they definitely going to follow the tortoise and the hare strategy. They always take their off spawn nice and slow. FPX looks like they got be able to get that second move lane onto X1. FPX still need to get onto match point themselves. This is a good start to run. X1 going to be trying to back off. ZDI is getting surrounded by XL, or getting surrounded by Junks, leading the charge on the Kylan. Light attack shifting out of there, trying to get a pinch play going by getting onto their flank, but nice job from X1 fading away, making sure that everyone from FPX is in front of them. Unfortunately for them, they're going to be around the trees, and XLY not able to get a critical Tessa ult off. Then they're going to be burning her gold F, getting parried immediately. Back-to-back parries, and XLY is just going to get completely fried by Junks, and we're back to Celestra, Moxie.
Oh, and it's Bauda going head-to-head. Bauda, remember, already burned through those revives. This is the turnaround that they needed to find. They're going to be up against that Kyle and Hardy composition. The Kurumi armor soaker has come through, but Yuran has also popped that Zai V2 to try to have the damage and take this Kylan out of the way. Hardy ultimate, though, has also been used against the team that they're fighting, so that everyone has that cube and can reposition up onto the high ground. Biden now finding that catch chase down with the last little moment of the Zai V2. Peak going incredibly low. That Matari not having a combo breaker could be problematic for Bauda to have to deal with. So trying to find the chase on WBG. Ajao on to that 1 versus 2. Bauda able to lock him down, finding the kill, sacrificing that Matari for it though. Both of those teams forcing the 2 versus 1. Who wins in neutral? It's the Kylan and the Hardy normally, but we are going to see Yuran taking so much damage. Has the nunchuck meter jump if he wants to invest it. Unfortunately, the Soulbur reset allowed the Kylan to come back through with the ultimate. Yuran burning so much of his stamina. The Kurumi gets the V2 back just into the mix. The Zai F3 used so Yuran can reposition closer to you and get that recast coming on through to get his armor topped back on up. He's going to be able to lift the Kylan ultimate because of this, but WBG's Jing with the combo breaker is going to live a little bit longer. Yuran now with the ultimate activation to get that F3 back onto line is now going to look for that hit. Last one remaining onto WBG's Jing, and that is a big sigh of relief breathed on the side of Bauda. They came incredibly close to getting knocked out of the lobby fully.
Now Bauda, JL, GG, all with off skill spawns. GG's going to secure that last kill, and now they are up to 3 as well. A 4-way match point tie. They're all 4 teams still going at it neck to neck. Alliance seems to pick it up, but FPX picking it up. They are at 29. They're going to have a massive game if they hope to bring this all the way back. But back to the top, Valdez, Yaron with the double charge, going to come in with the F3, but the Temi ult's going to deny that pressure. Takeda's going to be pushing out this Zai. Yaron double shove into him. He has to be careful. He is going to get taken down by Kakaxi with the R&B on those fist plates, just doing so much damage. He was going to come out with the F3, looking to get that res off. He's going to be going back, but quickly DRG is going to close the distance, jumping onto you immediately. You's not able to pop that ultimate, and now nice play from DRG, completely slowing down Bauda in the top 3. Tough break, but Peak is going to keep his gear. He's going to be able to reset to find another day. No problem. We can still salvage our game and bring it back, but it's going to be tough. OUG, JL, GG, slowing it down. Going to be playing for that first Yang. This first Yang, Moxie, is going to be hype if we get one of these 3 match point teams to go at it.
I mean, if we get Yang depletion. Oh, if any of these match point teams get Yang depletion, they're gonna be in such a rough spot to be able to recover from. FPX on 7 kills did take a fight against GG, which I believe they lost, and we are still gonna be seeing GG going head to head against FPX all the way over in Sunwings. CGS on this Takeda almost gets pushed into the poison splash from those mushrooms off of the back of that Hardy V1. Looks for the drop down charge RMB on that fan into Takeda ultimate extension with the pushback from the ultimate activation. But GG understanding they do not have those revives. They do not have any form of safety if they get third partied. They also don't have a lot of great tiered loot. However, because they use that Takeda ultimate, I'm not sure if they're going to actually put themselves into that realm of Yang. I think they know how problematic that Yang depletion could potentially be for any of those teams on match point eligibility, with the amount of teams looking to third-party group onto these fights. And they're going to be taking a 3 versus 3 against FPX instead. Temi ultimate going to be invested late from the side of LXM. Because the Kyle ultimate has come through on the side of FPX, this is the traditional counter line that we're seeing start to be established between these 2 compositions. Have they unfortunately taken the fight long enough? Is it going to be GG getting to cycle back into a Kurumi Tether? It absolutely is. Takeda with that F3 damage reduction, an absolute tank. Health bar barely moving, the knockback just pushing him further and further into that Kurumi V2. As GG looking to find any form of advantage that they can. F1 from the Takeda connects on to Xiaohu so that he can get a little bit of that sustain back into the mix. Activates the poison splash on the mushrooms as well with the cannon fire coming on through. FPX is just forced into taking a grey armor reset, trying to keep himself alive and play off of the stagger, setting up for his Hardy to come through and find the cleave. GG CGS goes incredibly low. The Kurumi Tether wasn't online in time to save him. GG might go down right here, right now, because of FPX. Jun on the Kyle and swaps over to the slabs to try and stagger 3-3-0 before coming on through with another reset V2. And GG are going to be knocked out of this lobby. They just need to find the chase down onto LXM. The combo breaker has come through from the Temi. GG knocked out with 3 kills to their name. As in the meantime, OUG won their realm of Yang and start putting themselves into a position to really start chunking this lobby down.
Yeah, nice job from FPX to take down GG. GG goes slow and steady the whole day, and when it really counts, they do fall to FPX. And that's what I was saying, Moxie, that still a lot of these teams can wake up this round. They got nothing left to lose. All nerves are off, so less pressure on them to perform, and that just unlocks people's potentials. Now going back to the realm of Yang, OUG's Shinyu with the poles sword. Zai's gonna get staggered up by ZK on the zipping. Hongsword Dash is gonna be coming out, but Shinyu not interested, looking to influence the support. He can't get away from the 2 peelers on him, so he uses his F3. Gonna come back for that Kurumi ultimate. Kylan ult's gonna be infested, sliding back and forth. Just have to wait for its damage to end up. And now we have a shield tank plus a rogue plus a healer. And now Shinyu getting uppercutted. Probably calling for a scale wedge from Mike. Mike just doesn't register it. OUG to Shinyu. Down to last health though. 1 HP left. But the King does clean it up. Now on the outside, Vermilion's buff. We have to be careful who we give this to. JL is also on the outside. They do have Yang depletion. They need to find these kills. Same thing with Wolf, same thing with KLA. Shinyu is going to fall. And it looks like DRG is going to be picking up those soul blooms. So much chaos going down. Is anyone left alive? The top 4 teams are all Shambos, Moxie. I don't know.
JL went into Realm of Yang, lost against Alliance. OUG managed to win that Realm of Yang. We just saw it in the replay, but immediately Cat Vermilion Birds might ripped off of their backs. JL trying to find this recovery. They have been able to pick up 1 soul bloom for their Zai, but there are so many teams left. They do still have ultimates to play with, anticipating that potential for the third party. They're trying to turn on to KLA. They've been able to force out the reposition coming on through, and now they have to find the chase down after that Hardy Cube has been invested from the V1. But KLA still very much happy to take the fight. Kurumi Teva has reset back, and we get the damage reduction. VVV with the hit of that F3 into that V2. From the Zai gets his Kurumi Teva now to play into that forward position, trying to find the fire tick proc onto these Zip teams. Unfortunately, though, the Kylan held his V2, and VVV is just not getting the potential to set up into that first or that last stage charge of the fire tick cone from the Zai, and KLA are able to stop the Zai from applying the fire tick, from effectively tanking the entirety of 17S's effectiveness. And that's gonna be JL getting knocked out of the lobby too.
And you were saying that KLA known for griefing match point teams, and we see him right now up to 5 kills right now. I believe OUG is still in though, and they're healthy. Is OUG going to steal this tournament away? They barely qualify on the backs of that clutch play from Shinyu, and now they're in prime position. GG, JL are out, about in recovery. They need a res U in order to get this MVP, but will they be able to? OUG is going to be chasing him down right now. They got their destiny in their hands. Peak is going to be put on the pressure. The pulse sword denying all of this damage. Nice job from Peak though. Great job getting to the rooftop right now, but F going to be invested from Peak flying up, but the King staying on top of Peak. He's going to get the armor reset, but Stoneform is going to be coming in. Now OUG's the King coming in from the back, trying to clean this up, but Peak will not be able to get away. OUG up to 7 kills though. Even though they're the last match point team left alive, we still have the likes of Alliance and DRG and KLA. All these teams, I was saying, Moxie, are heavy hitters. They can still wake up, and when it's do or die, I see teams on the bottom half just rise to the occasion now that the pressure is lifted off from them.
Yeah, KLA as well, very close to OUG. They've grouped so many of these top teams. Wolves also on track to do the exact same thing. If OUG aren't careful, they're going to get stuck between the 2 teams that have the best track record at stopping MVP potential teams from walking away the bi-weekly finals winner. They're going to keep themselves moving. Jinyu did not have that V2. Do they take this Realm of Yang? This is so risky. If they do, they are going to put themselves through it. They need to win this. If they get Yang depletion, their hand is going to be forced, and they're going to get third-partied by every single team left remaining, because we're already down to 22. KLA going to be stepping up to the plate, having just dispatched JL. Can they do the same? Can they keep this game and day going long enough for them to potentially qualify to that match point eligibility before we hit game number 8? Jinyu trying to find that opening with that Zai F3. They are going to be up against a hardy Kylan composition, so it's going to be holding on to that Zai ultimate until they see the Kylan coming on through. The Matari ultimate for the sustain and the F3 reset first. The hardy from KLA is going to be setting that cube up as an escape option for these players on the low ground to break into. Still, however, no Kylan ultimate. And as a result, QTG is having to stick through the entire duration of this hardy, trying to put the pressure onto these players of OUG to force that Kurumi ultimate so that their Kylan can find the value later on. Neither the V2 has been forced. OUG are going to be getting aggressive. They still have the recast to potentially come on out. They're going to use it now. SS setting up the circle to make sure that when the blistering edge comes through from the other side, the fire tick gets cleansed almost immediately. Jinyu with the V2 is now going to get interrupted by the Kylan V2 coming through. Both of the hyper carries were saving their ultimate to be reactive, but Jinyu is the one who can't do absolutely anything. May as well have his hands off of the keyboard as KLA set up the chain stagger and absolutely run away with this Realm of Yang.
KXZ QGG 17S going to be the wall that OUG cannot overcome. All the match point teams have fallen, but OUG still has a second chance. It's not over yet. They can come out of this Realm of Yang and find that cure for their Yang depletion. That's what I was saying, Moxie. I didn't see KLA and Alliance just giving these top 4 teams the free win. We are probably going the distance now. 16 people left alive, tons of people left alive, but with the Draco Storm, really hard to recover your game with the hunting KLA. With Draco Storm, super hard to lose. And oh my goodness, you look at Alliance's score, 11 kills on Siphon. How do you overcome that as OUG without that win inside the Realm of Yang? We're hoping for a miracle right here with the third party situation. Now they are going to have a lot of time to cure that Yang depletion. Will they be able to find a nice position? We'll have to see. Valda, on the other hand, still in the running as well, trying to res their teammates. We saw them earlier in Celestia like 5 minutes ago, still running to this day, trying to find that res.
Yeah, they're running from ASE as well, though, is the problem. And ASE have Mystic Might.
It's no getting away from.
No. You can run, but you definitely can't hide, and sooner rather than later you're going to run out of grapples. As OUG and DRG going to be taking a fight in Sunwing. This is so important for OUG. They need to win this, and they need to win it fast. Tumultuous ultimate going to be invested early on from the side of DRG, who are also under Yang depletion. Jinyu with that F3 isn't going to be able to find the fire tick application. OUG have burned their Kurumi V2 as well as started to try and find that opening with the Zai V2, but the Takeda Furon shots coming out from Tongqing is going to be able to knock the Zai back before yet again he can apply that fire burn proc. And OUG just cannot find the opening right now. Dongqing on that Takeda gets the Kurumi tower, have that damage reduction. OUG trying to find the 3 versus 1 against the Takeda, who was left behind before DRG's other players could heal and try and rotate to help him. But Jinyu is the one going incredibly low because KLA has shown up for the third party. They griefed OUG in Realm of Yang. They griefed them in Sunwings. And we're all but guaranteed to go another game.
Yeah, OUG still up to 9 kills, though. Zai is griefed. Can they find his way out of the KLA with the Draco Storm? Tons of momentum going their way. The King finding a sliver to get out of there. They still have a chance here. 9 kills, only 2 kills from behind. 18 players alive. The King making his way over. There's a lot of cover playing through these trees. Can they find the same clutch up? We saw them clutch up before, Moxie. Will they clutch up again? And it's going to be absolutely insane if they're able to pull this off. Bowda has been running away for the past 10 minutes. Just trying to recover his teammates.
He's got the tree line. Like, he can just go from tree to tree.
That's true. We're going with the helicopter mode with that pole sword. And it looks like SS is going to be able to camp out this zone on
he has no more Vitalia though.
Has to find a way. Oh my goodness, they did get a res. It's winnable, Moxie. Can they pull it off? Can they do it again? Pull the rabbit out of the hat. White
Not if
armor.
Wolves have anything to say about it, because Wolves are going to play Gatekeeper. And last I looked in terms of the food chain, yeah, rabbits get eaten. OPG is the king, has to immediately utilize that Matari ultimate and just get away, as Wolves are going to try and find the follow-up. But oh my goodness, OUG's players so incredibly low, having to split, two of them having to go directly through the Moonbane. OUG's the king with the pole sword, finding that Surf. SS with the Kurumi parasol will be able to teleport away from the Wolves' lockdown potential, and they've done it! Rabbit pulled out of the hat, OUG survived the rotation, the Wolves go hungry!
The Wolves go hungry. They lose the scent of the king flying through the air. Nice shot from him to max range it, break contact, break sound as well by creating such distance, and now Bowda's Peak still running away. He spent all this match basically running away, trying to find a res for his teammates. You got to commend the fact that JL and OUG is able to find those reses so fast, while Bowda, on the other hand, struggling to find this res. Now 9 kills versus 11. This is still winnable, Moxie. They can play this next Spirit Wall, and as you like to call it, the shopping spree for this armor. Now, if KLA does get this kill onto Peak, this makes it a little bit harder. 3 kills, a little bit harder than 2 kills to follow. But it looks like Peak is able to get out of there. Has 1 white heal, 4 armor pots left. Unfortunate for him.
Oh, into zone.
Is he going to go into zone? Oh, he does get clipped. Oh, he goes to ASE though. Nice job from ASE to pick up the kill. So Alliance and KLA, both the gatekeepers of this MVP round. OUG at 9. Are they going to be able to do it? Shinyu still has white armor. Needs to find a salvage body in this situation.
ASE, KLA, Wolves, every single team that is left in this lobby is all in this spot. It's a really good lost zone as well for the Vipers, so keep your eye on Exxon and ASE. Those trees are not going to be empty as OUG are going to get spotted out. Jinyu with that great armor is looking easy pickings. Gets the Kurumi Tower just to try and break away from the teams that are looking to lock him down. Utilizes that Zaire free to put himself into the tree as well, trying to find this catch onto the players left behind for OUG. The Kurumi is going to send in that V2, but they're going to get sent out of it by XEM coming on through. As we talked about, watch out for falling Vipers. Here comes the V1 ZDI with the hit of that F3, finds the connection onto OUG's SS, and I believe that OUG are now down to just the one potential player. They were able to do it previously. Can they do it again? The king on that Matari. 21 grapples, 2 Vitalia. If this fight moves away from the bodies, potentially he can find a revive, but unfortunately for him, all of the teams are still involved in fights, and he's just not going to have that chance of reviving without being spotted out. He's just got to play for the Matari mobility to break away as ASE comes in with their late Viper V1, forcing as many ultimates from the teams as they possibly can, as they were literally just using this to buy themselves a rotation space.
Alliance, they were having a quiet time earlier, but now picking up the pace. They're able, if they keep this up, they're probably gonna be able to pull up to match point tying up, and we're gonna have a 5-way match point. Same thing with ASE. They do ASE has potential of getting there. They have to win out all these situations, but the likes of KLA, will KLA have a crazy 20-point game, 25-point game, and get into striking distance?
Alliance already confirmed. Alliance is 62.7 plus 13.
Alliance 62. Oh, Alliance is already through. I mean, KLA. Yeah. Will Alliance
KLA, that's going to be a questionable one. The one that is much more likely is ASE. Because ASE are currently 65. They need 5 more points and they'll qualify for match point eligibility. By the way, it's Mystic Might again. We've seen one White Tiger's prowess on the 50-50 of these buffs so far today. There's KLA going to be coming on through with that Kylan ultimate, catching players into the zone yet again.
Oh my goodness.
And unfortunately creeping another team towards the top of the standings. Luckily for ASE, they're not the ones getting caught in the crossfire. KLA full looking at Alliance right now, given the fact that Alliance's position was given away off of that Karumi V2. It locked them down into that zone, which was perfect for the run-through of that Kylan ultimate. Not quite sure where our remaining player from OUG is. There he is, the king. Unfortunately spotted out amongst the trees. Gets his spot interrupted and has to find another one. As ASC not able to find the kills, but crucially, all 3 of their players still alive with that Viper. And this is a very good final zone for these Viper compositions.
Yeah, all the trees provide so much verticality for these Vipers to drop down over and over. Same thing with the hotties. All this verticality gives you a ton of options to set down your cubes, really blend in and get out of bad situations. It looks like Tesla ultimate coming down. ASC's Jungdong under a ton of pressure. He's down to 1 HP. Nice heals coming out from the Wu-Chen, but it's not going to matter. KLA gonna snipe him out of the air. 17S with the musket. Now CXZ with the blue cannon, putting a ton of pressure. Triple gold armor onto KLA. They're absolute juggernauts in this lobby, already up to 13 kills. They have to be feeling themselves, but multiple Vipers still in the lobby. First one ult is going to be coming out from ZDI. Which important is going to come down, and now ZDI trying to make his way back into the trees. Doesn't want to force a hard engagement. The king on the opposite end trying to get people out of the trees with his pole sword. Doesn't want to overcommit in this situation. Zay is on the high ground, I believe. King with the stagger. But can KLA secure this win? They are climbing crazily right now, Moxie. Already up to 15 kills. CXZ is an absolute monster right now, just terminating the lobby left and right. Wolves trying to bring this back. Has a decent amount of loot, but can't seem to secure the kills that they need to do right now. NHQ has no armor to his name, needs to slow it down, cube into the air. We're down to the last 11 though, Moxie. Will KLA pop a 20 bomb this game?
It's ASC, it's ASC. They've done the same thing. They sacrificed their Viper, their Wu-Chen and the Tesla are still alive, and no one has spotted them. No one has. Oh, there he is. Hi, Moran. He dropped down and then immediately went right back up into that tree. They're playing for the Tesla yet again. This was the thing that won them the MVP in one of their regular performances. As unfortunately for KLA, yeah, they were getting a lot of damage, but they weren't getting the kill confirmations off of the back of it. They do have that Kylan V2 ready to go to try to win heal off. We're going to see a lot of focus come down from all of these teams, making sure to shake up the tree, figure out if there's any player trying to hold on to those branches before the zone fully closes on up. Here's the Tesla ultimate, but it's not ASC. It's going to be X1. The Tesla got spotted out hiding in the purple invisibility bush, but the storm closed away from it, and she had to use it to try and keep herself safe. ASC still holding on. It's going to be X1. ZDI still alive on this Viper with a massive Viper V everyone, using the double jump to close over the rocks. KLA trying to win the heal up with the Kylan V2. Have ASC done what they need, because Yaowen does manage to get a couple of kills, but it's KLA with the last team standing, and I believe that ASC got eliminated with 68.3 points. KLA, have they done it? They got so many kills. They got last team standing off of the back of that Kylan ultimate. They were the best at griefing every single one of the top teams, and I can confirm from production that yes, they did. They did absolutely everything that they could, Raven, and it was all worth it in the end. KLA are able to put together enough points to and push up north. You never land directly on it, because then you enter into that 50-50 coin flip between who gets onto Ballista first.
Game 7, lucky number 7. Who's going to be lucky today to secure this? It looks like to the back. Fireflies are going to be taken. Baudas U is going to spot it out. We got U on his Takeda. They're going to have to bail out here, though, because OUG will have that ult online. Temi and Takeda ult. To the north, though, GG already making their way south. They don't want to sit there and only loot north. They want to take one of these off-spawn fights, but they first want to loot. Looks like FPX is going to be scoring the first blood versus X1. X1 does get
no way a KLA already solved Salvation Podium.
KLA already has salvage or solved Salvation Podium. Plus, got the gold dual Halbies on that Zai. KLA, are they going to come back from the depths, Moxie, and win this all?
I'm telling you, my money is on KLA. They have enough momentum coming through from that last game. They are feeling themselves. So we're going to be seeing GG eyeing up a potential fight between themselves and WBG. Jing is going to get grapple locked onto ICJS. Pulls in the reinforcements, knows that they can take the numbers advantage, forces the combo breakout early, and WBG's Jing, caught away from the rest of his players, gets locked onto and deleted. Where, oh where are the two other players from WBG? Why was Jing so far ahead?
Sometimes the loot is calling, Moxie, and it calls you to places where you should not go. GG, after going to be invented by CGS, onto Sleepwalker. Sleepwalker stuck in these buttery rocks. CGS with that blue fan, looking to keep the pressure on. Takeda stuck against the corner, is going to throw that focus attack out, is going to get caught off by 330. 330 crispy with the parries all day today. Now to the north, just north of Metap, we got OUG versus Wolves. Next point eligibility is Jinyu taking one of the Wolves players for a ride. And we also going to be invested by Wolves. The King is going to pop his Takeda ult, but it is just a white Takeda ult. It's not going to matter. ZK is going to take so much damage. XCM is going to get the parry, but it's not going to matter. The King with the shove, denying any of that pressure. XCM will be surrounded, will fall, and now GG and OUG are going to be taking the lead.
Yeah, but ASE comes in with that late entry, third party with the Kylan. B2 on the field, putting all of the pressure onto the King. He's able to dodge out of a couple of those follow-up stashes. Manages as well to find the parry in the interim, but still gets focused onto with that staff. Jiangdong now out of that ultimate, looks for the jump parry, won't be able to find the connection. Jinyu and Xiaowen looking for the head-to-head, but wait, have Wolves gone for the run back? Oh, Wolves coming back into the mix to try and grief these players, as Jinyu is not going to be able to find that revive onto SS. Jarwan was also looking to try and find that revive onto Moran, but Wolves coming back into the fight, taking advantage of OUG having to deal with ASE, to see the lull in fighting, fully recover, and now try to come back through. Someone is trying to stick a revive away from where Jinyu was playing from as we head over towards the snowfields, up onto that western side, or rather eastern side of the map. and it is going to be JL's VVV getting parried out of the blue state skill rush. Has the Hattie Cube, will be able to put himself up into that skybox to come down with that Kylan V2 in hand and look to set these cubes up.
Yeah, VVV popping the Kylan ultimate, getting a slash rush. He's been accurate all day. Jing going for a ride. NHQ or WBG's Sleepwalker will fall to VVV. Axial down to his last leg, will be chopped down by VVV, and JL making a case for themselves. It's neck to neck battle to JL, OUG, and GG, all with kills on the board. ASC on the climb though. Can they make it? It looks like they're gonna even make it the match point if this goes a distance, but first OUG has her work cut out for them. Adi ult coming out. Looks like this is ASC giving them a run for their money. OUG's chasing down Jingdong, not able to get away. Last hit coming out. Now ASC looking for the disengage, trying to keep some of the loot, but it's not going to matter. OUG keeping on top of them. They need every single kill. It's going to come down to maybe 1 or 2 kills of who can MVP this round. Nice cleanup though. Really, really hard to lock down Hottie over here in Metab. And OUG is able to do it already, up to 6 kills.
6. Yep, that's 6. Huge stuff coming through from OUG, and this is a composition that wants to take those fights into the realm of Yang. Something to note though is that while OUG are on the Siphon, they did not have the points to afford the Kurumi. It is the Zip variant of the Siphon. Good news for them is that there are far less Siphon compositions in the mix. We've got GG running the Zai, KLA running the Zai, and FPX. Those are the only 3 teams that they have to worry about in terms of that V2 with the fire effect. Unfortunately for them, Zai is not the only one who has fire effect on her moves. You can get Soul Jades. So Assault Smolder could scupper their chances if they do go into that realm of Yang. So too good Blistering Edge. We've seen a little bit less of Blistering Edge today, which has definitely been a big surprise given the fact that they was one of the most used Soul Jades in the past in NBPL Trios. Given the fact that it has Fire Tick, it's used on the Pole Sword, which is always utilized in Trios meta with these players running around the outsides of a fight with the charged RMB looking to land onto unsuspecting players. And it has that Fire Tick, as we've talked about, which can be oh so helpful in being able to just absolutely melt the effectiveness of sustain, plus the range that it has too. Like the amount of times you can just immediately zoom around a corner and then charge up a Blistering Edge onto someone chasing after you and just hit them with the full whammy of it. Brilliant way to just punish players murder goggling onto you.
Ooh, a whammy on it. Wow. First round Yang gonna be coming out. 3 Yang's gonna be available. Who is gonna be taking the first one? You got GG to the north. The classic GG. Looting the top right, cutting all the way to the top left. Doesn't look like anyone's going for Draco Storm. JL's is going to be challenging as well. GG going into that first round of Yang. KLA in the south poking with Alliance. And on the bottom left, I forgot which, I didn't get to see which team was all the way to the left. Full Jades though. Full Jade slots going into this first round of Yang. Don't really, will they betray here? Anytime I see like a zipping or a Kurumi, I'm not gonna lie, I feel a little tempted to hit him with the light attack. Hold him from going out. It looks like GG
we get the rematch. Raven, we get the rematch. OUG versus KLA.
OUG versus KLA. Who do you think's gonna take this one, Moxie?
I mean, OUG do have the better loot. They've got purple armor on that Takeda. However, KLA have the legendary halberds because they sold Salvation Podium. So I would give the advantage to KLA unless they lose those halberds as UGG. Currently not being focused, OUG instead turning to look at the Matari who doesn't have that combo break. Escape potential 17S with that longsword support role playing from behind, throwing in those charge hits. It is going to be the King coming through with that Skater ultimate. He's going to get interrupted by the Zai with that F3, but OUG still looking to put enough pressure to force out these support utilities from coming on out. Jinyu still holding onto the Tumult ultimate, is going to invest it now that the Kurumi has burned that recast of her ultimate and can't kite it any further. The Matari with that dash tries to break away, but the King finds the wisp. Punishment uppercut onto QGG. QGG, however, does still have that Zai V2 up and running. The King with the charged vertical released onto the fan, doesn't find the spine that he's looking for. SS in the interim has gone down. The King holding onto the pillar will be able to get one shield pot off, but is interrupted by the chase down coming through from that long side before swapping over onto the fan so that the King can't look for the parry. Wisp tries to come on through, grabs onto KLA's QGG, but the King gets parried out of the punishment and will lose his weapon. KLA walk away with the win.
Now, GG, can they bring this back down to 2 kills? OUG's already up to 7. Balda's up to 5. Was this to play to go for the Zai Matari Kurumi instead? Doesn't look like they got the Draco Storms. Tough break for them. WG is going to have the Draco Storm. Can GG overcome such a tall task going against Draco Storm? CDS looking for the RB, not able to get it. Takeda spacing out Sleepwalker on a WBG. Doesn't want a hard commit here. Sends finally to RB Jing. Looking for the Dragon Slayer, not able to get it. CGS and GG trying to fight their way out of this. After he's going to be invested, used for a disengage. Well, he goes second. Alex M's going to get the follow-up on the Axiao. And now we're in a 2v3 situation. Takeda's going to be invested, but CGS going for a ride. Double RB with the spear is going to be too much damage for him to handle. He is going to get bonked out of existence. Again, another parry going to coming through onto 3v0, followed up by the musket shot now. Ballista from max range is going to force everyone to skedaddle. Alex M trying to make his way out of here, but Sleepwalker is going to contest him. Sees that his armor is super low. Now LXM trying to get out of this sticky situation. Can he find the res for his teammates at this point? It's going to be a tall task, and we got OUG and JL both with Yang depletion. Only Balda and KLA are still healthy to take this match point, and both of them are at 6 points or 6 kills.
Yeah, JL turning up unfortunately late. So while that fight went down between X1 and Bowda, we're going to see Bowda now on Frozen Lake turning on the FBX Yahoo. Oh, mistimes the jump parry and eats the full overhold of the charged RMB on the halberds. Coming on out from Bowda's U. Bowda up to 7 kills currently. Trying to chase down some of these other players from FX who are going to kite up onto cliff tops and try and disappear. JL with Yang depletion, showing up for the third party. Late into the mix, still having all of their ultimates. We're going to hit TXJ setting up the cube so that they have that disengagement tool in case things get a little bit hairy. VVV does use it, drops down with that Kyle and V2 setting up these dashes to hit through all of these players of X1 and absolutely melts everybody in 1, 2, 3 cuts. Huge plays from JL, and they get themselves out of a very sticky situation. A situation that unfortunately OUG have an even worse end of the stick. They have Yang depletion, they have less than a minute and a half, and they've unfortunately found players in Plume, which is one of the easiest places for players to eternally kite and make sure that they do not go down.
Heavy ult's going to be invested. OUG, the King, Shinyu, we're all in, baby. OUG has 1 minute left to cure their Yang depletions. They have the likes of Alliance if they want to get through, but KLA's lurking on the outside. The King has to get all popped. SS on the zipping is going to be raining down. QGG connecting to SS. He's trying to back out, but the King with the peel Problem is 36 seconds, no ultimate to anyone's name, and now they're going to be running into KLA. Zai composition with the Zai ulted, nothing they can do. Super unlucky, but KLA up for the running again, up to 7 kills. Can they secure the rest of these kills? Looks like WBG's Jing able to yoink the kill from max range with a Temiev. OUG's SS is going to send the bonk, get a nice hit in, and now suddenly getting surrounded by multiple focus attacks, plus the hottie in midair. SS going crazy with the parry, getting a nice shit parry next, but he will fall. And now JL coming back for seconds. They're just never done with it. Will they go second realm of Yang? They have moved the armors around a little bit. Normally you see armor on the Kylan, but they actually put it on the Zipping and Hottie instead. Interesting.
I think like they knew that there were so many teams in the area that the Zip would be that target of focus. Especially since if the Zip utilizes that healing sustainability, she pushes such a huge target onto her backs. So we're going to see BIWEEK3 versus KLA. KLA griefed OUG again with the reason that OUG got knocked out of this lobby. Can they do the same to BIWEEK3? Will it be the Cinderella story? QGG is definitely going to try and get to the ball, trying to get the charged R&B damage of these dual halberds, legendary scaled, onto these players to force that sustain utility as quickly as possible, trying to cleanse that F3 hit of that side. The Kurumi Tether as well from the Tori ultimate sets QGG up to get incredibly aggressive. BIWEEK3 going to reciprocate with a Tumulture ultimate to try and keep themselves in cover from and take cover before that Matori ultimate is done. Unfortunately, they still have to weather the storm of the Zai V2 that QGG is relentlessly holding on to, is chasing down BIWEEK3's Yuran. The Kurumi, having to take the 1v1 against Zai, has to swap to the Tether Snap so that she can return into the melee and look for that clank. The grapple bump extension gets the so incredibly low. The honor circle has been invested. QGG now gets turned onto because you held on to that Takeda ultimate as long as KLA did their Zai V2, and you with the Furin shoves peels for his Kurumi. Yuran was the bait. KLA get outplayed, and BIWEEK3 are just on cleanup.
Really, really nice combo from you, getting that ISO play off and then securing the reset off the uppercut combo. So much damage coming down. You got the R&B focus into the shove on the wake up, just completely deep frying and breading up his opponents. Now, you and crew, let's see what the leaderboard is looking like. BIWEEK3 up to 10 kills. Good googly mooglies. Who can contest them? JL's up to 6, KLA at 7. Can KLA bring it back again? It's just been a seesaw, Moxie, back and forth team. Just when we think a team is taking a lead, I was like, oh my god, Moxie's right, KLA's gonna take it. Wait a minute, they're falling to the likes of you and BIWEEK3. Now BIWEEK3 is gonna take it. Previous round, BIWEEK3 is just running for their lives the entire time, but it looks like the prediction might be right, Moxley. Sand Siphon might be taking this game 7, but we still got JL, we still got my boys in. Up to 6 kills. They're in a
purple bush
possible
at the moment, which is really problematic for the team with Yang depletion, because KLA, they could go after JL, they could also go after Alliance. Alliance and JL are literally staring at each other across the desert. There are 2 purple bushes and both teams are in a different one. And it does mean that unfortunately for KLA, the teams that they're going to run into are going to be the stacked ones that are fresh off of a realm of Yang win. 7 kills on the board for KLA, but it means absolutely nothing if they cannot keep themselves in this lobby because they went out to Yang depletion. BIWEEK3 still with that Mystic Might, going to be looking to try and take this fight. KLA in soul form also going to be watching like a hawk to see how many ultimates are invested, when they can potentially come in for that third-party opportunity. Unfortunately for them, though, BIWEEK3 will get the heads up with that Mystic Might. If KLA decides to try and come through from the third party, they will get wind of that play coming on out from this Siphon composition. And it looks like KLA have decided to actually head in the opposing direction. There is a very high chance now that they do run in to JL and Alliance if they head just a little bit more over to the left.
They do have 3 minutes left on this Yang depletion. That's a nice part of the second Yang. You get a lot more time to possibly cure that Yang depletion, and it makes sense considering that everyone's armor is super stacked. Bauda over at Plume Castle just biding their time, but ASC is going to find a kill onto GG's LXM. Tough break for GG. They're not able to secure it this game 7, but now Bauda moving over to the left. They're going to be running into KLA, who is fighting against WBG.
And JL, though. They're fighting two teams at the same time, Raven.
This might be for the tournament now, Moxie.
Yeah, KLA having to invest absolutely everything. 2 minutes left, but they're getting focused down by WBG Sleepwalker with the Furin shoves. QGG trying to find the damage, but he gets isolated by the Temi ultimate, has to burn the F3 to go directly over the middle of it to disengage through. Into the storm he goes. CXZ has fallen behind him. QGG just with the dodges is still probably going to go down because of that corruption tick damage, just slowly chipping his health bar down. It's just going to be 17S on the Kurumi trying to break away, but JL are going to hunt her down to make sure that this kill sticks, and KLA are not going to be able to carry the momentum through. They griefed OUG in the previous lobby, and OUG went out because of Yang depletion, and unfortunately KLA find themselves in the exact same predicament. It now comes down to Bauda and JL. Will we see the day end early, or do we go to game number 8? Does a team like Alliance get a shot at second chance because someone like ASE or DRG are able to pick up the kills necessary to swipe up that MVP?
It's gonna be a tall. Is it a tall task? I mean, if Spirit World comes white Tiger buff, I could still see them turning it around. It's really anyone's ball game going into this last leg. It's gonna be a flat ground, not much room to hide. JL's TXJ gonna execute Junks from FPX with the musket. Another kill on the board, and JL's gonna take the lead over Bauda. Now, we have the privilege, Moxie, and viewers at home, we know exactly where each of these teams are, but going into this last leg, there's no coach behind you. All these teams are just putting the pedal to the metal, flooring it, looking for the kills. The Cavalry Plume coming out clutch for JL. Look at picking up the kills right now. 9 kills, 11 kills for Bauda. We're closing the distance right now. It's so close. Only 3 points, Moxie.
Is it Mystic Might or is it White Tigers? We've seen so little of White Tigers today, but it would be oh so fitting if game number 7 was determined by whoever gets their hands on that White Tigers prowess. Every single bi-weekly finals has come down to that control of the Spirit Well. Bauda trying to keep pace with JL, find themselves their 12th kill. It's not enough to entirely overtake JL in terms of the standings, but it definitely gives them a little bit of an advantage when it comes to potentially taking the MVP of this game, and that's all that matters. If Bauda or JL are the team that MVP, it doesn't matter whether Bauda is first or second, they still get to put their names on that scroll. They still get to stamp that seal. It's all going to come down to this Sand Siphon versus Kylan Hardy. Is it going to go to the heal off, or will the Sand Siphon composition be able to absolutely decimate the lobby because of that Spirit Well buff from coming on through? We're still waiting to see what exactly that buff is going to be, but Raven, we're not the only ones waiting in anticipation. I guarantee you, in comms right now, every single one of these players is making a plan for that scenario.
Yeah, Spirit Well is going to be critical on who is going to take this game right now. 18 people alive. We've been having relatively smaller end games we've been accustomed in the previous weeks. Now, before we used to get around 24, everyone was playing a lot slower. Now, more teams are willing to push their edges, really willing to try to secure kills, especially going into first and second Yang. But we're seeing just how close to the jail at 9 kills, Bowda at 12 kills, plus 10 and plus 13. Alliance, there's no way Alliance can break this through. It's really up to... Wait. I didn't even see X1. X1 is up to 8 kills. They can steal this away, and we can go to game 8.
Yeah, there is a very real potential that we go to game 8, even though we entered into this lobby with 6 teams on MVP eligibility. I'm telling you, Raven, some teams cave under pressure and other teams flourish. As we are going to be seeing Mystic Might is our confirmed buff for the late end game Spirit Well. And you can see how X1 were able to pick up all of those 8 kills. Huge amounts of Dark Tide coins that they've been able to pick up, as well as a lot of legendary soul droids to try to hold on to that spacing. ASE and DRG both going to be in the same side of that zone, separated out by the Moonbane, as we are going to see Bowda just trying to figure out whether or not some of these players are hiding out towards the outer edges, while also getting into a position to start to make a play when that Spirit World Dome spawns on in. You going to be coming on through with those legendary dual halberds. We've talked about what a star player this guy is when he's on the Takeda. Can he complete that role? Can he be the carry that his team needs to bag up the overall MVP alliance now with the Sand Siphon composition? Yuma with that Takeda gets the Karumi Tab. Isn't going to be sticking around because X1 is going to be challenging for positioning. Sand Siphon unfortunately loses power the more Sand Siphon compositions there are in play. No one wants to use the Temi ultimate because of this, and it's just becoming a scrap off with Soul Jades and Focus Hits. The first Temi ultimate comes on down. Are any of these other teams going to contribute their Temi ultimate over the top of it? The answer is absolutely yes.
Absolutely yes. Temi ult's coming down. Tether's being tied to all the Temis. No one wants to give this up. Alliance Yuma sitting in the middle. Now TXT dropping down with the focus attack. Coming in tethered as well, throwing the RMBs out over and over. But Yuma does get hit by the F. Still has ultimate online. Every team loves X1 now launching range attacks into it. Looks like first Bowda is now going to be coming in. Karumi also going to be invested. BBB and TXA just constantly airwalking, looking for the flank plays inside of it. Alliance is going to come back in, trying to hold the center, and it looks like TXA is going to invest the Hottie on, look to place down the cube, but Alliance, Yoma back to the center again with the Hottie, with the F3, tanking it on damage to drop down though. Double charge from the pole sword, just too much to deal with. He's like, I'm out of here. X1 now coming into the party from behind. EXJ just contesting the center. No one can get this for free right now. Another Hottie comes down, putting down Hottie port, making this super safe. Who's going to be the next person to go in? It looks like Yuma again with the Karumi tether. My man is a juggernaut. We're just releasing one charge after one charge after one charge after one charge. We just keep doing it over and over.
It's probably got Vardra's grip. I would assume with the amount of times that he's released those charged RMPs, unfortunately he's going to release a charged RMP directly into that Cicada. All of these teams understanding that you cannot allow any composition to get that Spirit Well for free, but you absolutely cannot allow the Kylan and Hardy composition because they get 2 Kylan ultimates, 2 opportunities to proc that immortality with the Kylan guard. Zone is going to be closing yet again away from the Spirit Well. Is any Karumi going to be brave enough to drop that V2 and have her players tank the corruption damage so that they can pick up that buff and get that ultimate back online? Keep an eye on that one because maybe a player is going to make a break to grab that buff and get the ultimates back a little bit later on. Bowda's you now in the midst of things, getting barbecued by X1ZDI with that flamer coming into play, puts himself up onto the high ground spot site. DRG understands that that's a player that should not be there. As in the meantime, ASC on the low ground, gatekeeping the ability of players getting to get past them towards that spirit well. JL's VVV trying to keep himself alive cannot get into that V2 until we go to heal off. We have so many Kylans left alive in this lobby, Raven. It's not a great one. The Sand Siphon compositions coming on out. We said so much of this game would be impacted on how the final zone fully gets on out in terms of that terrain. But for the Kylan immortality, it doesn't matter about terrain. They just have to make sure that they get to hold on to the V2 when the storm fully collapses.
Say it's not that good for Sand Siphon, but Bauda has retaken the lead over JL. It's neck to neck between both of them. Now remember, looking down at X1. X1 is at 9 kills as well. It's going to come down close. It's an absolute slugfest. JL is going to pick up a kill, but then Peak is going to respond and get a kill himself. 14 kills on Bauda. JL up to 10 kills. They're going to need the MVP this round in order to win it, and TXJ is going to fall. BBB trying desperately to knock people into zone on his Kylan, but the Temi ult's going to put the mud onto everyone. What can he do? He is holding the center right now. Yu is trying to hold the center. Who is going to be coming out on top? Flamethrower's coming out from X1. Burn is coming down. Yu is getting a couple kills right now, but X1 is also getting up a kills. It looks like Bauda is going to be able to get to 16 kills. It looks like they might have stolen it right at the end. Yu and Crew are going to be your third bi-weekly champions, and you see Yu popping off. They're able to clinch it up over
2024 NBPL 夏季赛第3双中3排
The third bi-weekly final championship of TRIOS game, which is Team
报
BIWEEK3
答的选手来到舞台中。
Welcome you guys to the center of stage.
同样也让我们把掌声送给今天所有在舞台
And also we would like to say thank you to all the team today in venue. And congratulations, 宝达。